Hey, welcome everybody to the H3 Podcast, the number one happening place to come and feel good and to party and just feel hype all the time and be stoked on life. All these other podcasts you watch, you put on, you're like, this is depressing. This podcast, they are not funny or insightful like H3 Podcast is. I'm all of those things and more. I'll be whatever you want. Just please keep watching. Today we are joined by Logic, the musician, the artist, and the rapper. Of one of my favorite guests. We've had him on before. He's a friend of ours. We have a fantastic conversation. He's in a really good place with his new album that just came out, which I believe is his 6th studio album. No Pressure, it's called. And it's being critically acclaimed. Everyone's loving it, including myself. Great conversation there. This episode is brought to you by Ridge Wallet. And I also want to give an announcement before we throw it to Logic, is that we have this new members program. Our schedule has changed a little bit. You guys may have noticed. We are now going to be posting our episodes on Monday and Thursday. Those are going to be our 2 weekly episodes at 8 a.m. for the working man. I'll tell you guys why we're doing this. I went in YouTube Analytics, you can see a heat map of when people are watching your channel the most. And we were kind of fascinated to find out that people are mostly watching our content during the week, starting early morning, because these people, these are working salt of the earth people.
We were posting on the worst days.
Saturday is the worst day to post content for our channel. So what we're doing, is Monday, Thursday, 8 a.m. is when the podcasts are going to go up. And then for members, we are going to be doing a Friday live stream for members only. So the Friday live stream is going to go up for members only. It's a 3rd extra episode. And really, I have to emphasize that for non-members, nothing changes. It's the same 2 episodes every week. The 3rd episode is kind of a new beast where we take suggestions from the audience. We take calls from our members-only Discord. And we can, besides that, we're going to react to content that we would normally cut from our podcast, which is stuff that like might get us mature rated or might get us claimed. And we always go like, oh, it's not even worth it, so why bother? That kind of stuff we can throw in there on the Friday live stream because we don't have to worry about an algorithm suppressing our video or some copyright trolls blocking it worldwide or something. I wonder if they could block our... That'd be weird if they blocked our VOD.
The VOD of the stream?
Yeah.
I mean, that happens. That could happen.
Well, anyway, the VOD will be available for members. I know people are upset that we're making content behind a paywall, but you really just have to understand that, like, we're in a situation when we've lost a lot of our sponsors, and we really need to just create a stable baseline for which we can continue to make our content and expand the podcast and buy stuff like The Gatsby. And what's something else? We wasted a lot of money on something else, didn't we?
We did, but it has not been revealed.
Oh, yeah, we have something really big coming up that we've wasted like way more money than Gatsby next week. It's exciting. And like, dude, there was this, you guys remember that tiny little mobility scooter that couldn't go up the curb? And like just, so we found out you can buy 6 of those for, how much was it? Like $15,000?
Yeah. Yes.
It's a
I love it.
minimum
There was a
of 6.
minimum order.
I love
yeah.
they only sell them in 6-packs, like it's toothpaste or something. It's awesome.
Maybe we can find another vendor that sells them individually,
But anyway, the point is that we really do need to foster so we can continue to maintain and invest in the pod. And we want to reward those people that really do want to support us there and to give them a really quality experience for them. So if you know, we're going to post highlights. So if you want to get a feel for what's going on there, we will be posting highlights. But otherwise, we're just really thankful to the people that do support us directly like that. And so we want to make a really nice quality product for them. So we'll be doing that every Friday, I think around 12. This week's a little unusual because we're recording an episode on Friday, which we're generally not going to do anymore. But we're going to be doing it, the first one, this Friday at 2, we said, right, Dan?
Yeah, again, because we're recording an episode where we have an interview with Andrew Yang that we're recording on Friday, and we're doing him. And unfortunately, it couldn't be moved, and we're doing him at noon. So it's kind of awkward. We're launching this on the first week in a kind of an awkward way, but moving forward, it will be at noon on Friday.
Probably around 3
Pacific
if that's
time.
the
I guess
case.
we should specify. 12
Yeah,
Pacific.
probably around 3, but we'll tweet it out and stuff. So, and the VOD will be up for members. So, but for if you can't afford it or you don't want to subscribe, you get the same 2 episodes. Those are our main episodes, like the ones we've always been making. You're going to get the same content you always have. There's an extra episode for members. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I do hope to see you there. But you can always catch the highlights. I know that was a lot to get out, but I needed to explain that. There is something I do really want to watch before we get into Logic, which was I could not stop laughing. I was literally can't even watch this because I die when I watch it. I was just crying every time because there's so many details. I got no audio, Dan, and the audio is really important. But it's still funny as fuck. I saw this video on Twitter and I was just crying. And then I opened it like 2 hours later, and then I thinking that like I got it out of my system, and then I was crying again. Like there's so much here. Let me just play it. The audio is coming. So this lady's trying to. What is this, like Sonic? Like, what kind of job is this? You have to skate, and he's going so fast. Oh, that poor guy. Oh, you can hear him, like, the wind gets knocked out of him. Like, he hits shit so hard. You can hear the wind get knocked out of him. Watch. And the fact that it's blue Slurpee exploding everywhere. Oh. And then the lady
Where do you
recording.
get this blue Slurpee drink? What is that?
I think it's just Slurpee.
That place Sonic's. It's known for like having weird drinks and stuff. It's like
What's
one
the
of the things
place?
there. It's called Sonic's. It's like a fast food place. There's none in LA for some reason.
How do you react to that? How do you not laugh at their
Oh
fucking
God,
food?
I
And
feel
for that,
terrible
it's like the
for him.
worst moment of his life.
Yeah,
you know?
seriously.
So and then I think they are just recording because it's like such a novelty. Did somebody bring food on skates? Then this guy's getting out to get the food. Listen to the later recording. Anyway. Well, how do you react to that? I saw a comment that just said, you just clock out and never come back at that point.
Totally.
Yeah.
You think so? Just bounce.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would just leave. I would skate into the sunset, never to be seen again.
What do you say to? What do? You help them up, or you definitely have to laugh in their face as much as you don't want to.
Funny as shit.
Dude, he ate shit so hard. He hit his back so hard. Imagine how much he's getting paid for this shit. He's probably getting like $7 an hour.
Yeah, it's minimum wage for sure. Ugh.
That's gotta be the lowest
worst.
point in his life. And now it's been recorded. It's been recorded.
Man.
Look at his legs. He just eats shit so hard. Okay. Anyway.
Nice pause.
Anyway, so I installed a button
Yeah, I got you hooked up.
I said, Dan, can we get that? So like anytime I want, I could just. Oh, I can't see it.
Yeah, it just played on screen.
Anytime I want,
Yeah.
I could just hit a button, and we can roll it out. Which I think, I'm not exactly sure of the situation, but
We can't see it, so is it just full screen? Did I just do it?
you can hear
Every
his
time.
lung come out.
Yeah, it just fades in and just shows the video and fades back out.
So that's a new feature
Yeah,
for everybody.
it's a video drop. We had audio drops, now we got video drops.
I can't see it, but I can hear it, and it sounds
I'll hook
good.
you up in the future with a source monitor so you can see.
Oh my God! So that's all I wanted to say. With that being said, we have Logic on deck. So, with that, I already said. With that being said, how much more do I have to set this up?
Without further ado,
That's it. Well, I already said with that. It's like without being said, without further ado. It's like, dude, just cut to Logic. So with that being said, without further ado, Logic. With us today is the Bobby Hall, aka
All right.
Logic, who has just released his 6th and final studio album, No Pressure. And I'm happy to say I'm very excited. And I am with them. Critical acclaim. Everybody is loving the album. I've listened to it several times. I love it. It's great.
Thank you so much,
It's so
dude.
good.
It's a fantastic album.
I appreciate it. I
And-
put a lot into it.
Beyond that, he's also now a dad.
I am.
So what does that make you? you are yourself a junior, a Bobby Jr.
Yeah.
And your son is named also Bobby.
Yes, he's the third.
So are you you're now a junior and a senior?
Yeah, it's kind of. I'm like it's like the. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird thing to think about. I never thought it was just fucking blew my mind right now.
Yeah, you've transcended the junior. Does your dad call you junior?
I don't really talk to my dad, but he
Wow.
would just call me Bobby, just Bob.
Bob.
You know,
Yeah.
I love the name Bobby. We were considering that name at some point for a girl, though.
Oh, Bob.
Yeah, IE,
Yeah.
Bobby. I actually have a funny story about that to start shit off. So my buddy, or I'm not trying to flex, but JJ Abrams.
Oh shit! You know JJ?
Yeah, that's my dog. So I was texting him one day, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm here with Roger Lynn, and Roger Lynn is the creator of the MPC and the fucking like the Lindrum and all that shit that Dilla and so many of us make hip hop beats on." And I was like, "No way!" Tell him I like thank you for everything. And then he got him to write me like a little note. And I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. This is crazy." So it said, to Bobby, thanks for using my instruments, but he spelled it Bobbie. And I didn't give a shit. I was like, I'm still going to frame this and put it in my studio. So JJ was like, cool, I'll mail it to you. And then, mind you, this is pre-corona. This is like 9 months ago. So he's or a little longer than that. And he said he's going to send it to me. And then like a month goes by and I text JJ and I'm like, hey, so don't forget to send that thing. And he's like, oh, dude, I already sent it. You didn't get it. So it got lost in the mail.
Oh no, because of the spelling?
Yeah, no, it
Like
just got
they-
lost in the
oh.
No, because JJ sent it to me to everything normally, but just Roger Lynn fucked my name up and spelled it like a woman, which is fine, whatever. Sometimes I feel that way. I'm just kidding. So, after I told JJ that, he was like, "Don't worry, I'll get him to send you another one." And I'm like, "Don't bother this guy." And he's like, "He's fine. He's my friend." So he formally types up a letter, right, and then signs it. This time, because I was joking with JJ, I was like, "Can you make sure he signs my name right?" And he goes, "No problem." And then he sends it to me, and he misspelled Abrams in JJ Abrams in the second letter. It was just really funny. It was hilarious. Probably not that. Maybe it's not that funny.
So you got
I
it.
thought it was.
You got it. It's spelled correctly.
Yeah, but he fucked up JJ's last name. He spelled it like JJ Abrahams.
This guy, man. You know, it's good that they corrected the spelling because people would not have believed it was yours. They'd be like, "Man, you got this off the internet for
I know.
another Bobby."
I actually do have a Frank Sinatra signed piece of art. I don't know where it is because we are still unpacking, but it says to Bob from Frank, and then signed Sinatra. And a fan of mine, Anisha, got it for me like years and years ago, and I really always loved it.
Wow.
That's an awesome gift.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So you are a father now. I recently became a father. You know that. Actually, our son now is like he's like a big boy. He's like a month,
He's,
a year, and 3
1
months.
year and almost 3 months.
Yeah. How old's your
That's
son now?
crazy.
Like 6 months?
6.5 months. Yeah.
How is it, dude?
I can't believe it that it already all happened. Last time we hung out, you guys I think you just told us that she's pregnant and
Yeah.
Was it the last time we hung out when we got swatted?
yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And then
We
Well, I
had to
know
run.
now you guys are talking about it, but the funny part is people don't realize that you were in my theater
Yeah.
and you got a phone call from a random number, and I was like, and you were not going to answer it, and I was like, let me answer it, and you're like, no, and I'm like, just let me answer it, and I answered it, and I'm like, hello, and they're like, this is the police, and I'm like, yeah, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's a true story.
Yeah, and then I'm like telling the police to go fuck themselves because we think it's just like somebody leaked your number or something, as they do, right? You know,
And the officer sounded like a kid too, so it really
Yeah.
didn't help. We really thought we were just being pranked by
Well,
kids.
At the time, a lot of people were calling. We fucked up. I picked up Alfredo, and on his dog tag, it had my cell phone number. So people
damn.
kept calling me and shit around that time.
Actually, no, that was before Alfredo.
Oh, it was? Oh,
Yeah.
you're right. It was.
It was before Alfredo.
Well, my number's been on the internet.
Yeah, we're used.
I don't ever answer unknown calls. So I was like, oh, fuck this person calling me.
yeah, I never do it either, but I just thought if it
Yeah.
was your phone, it'd
I've
be
never done
hilarious.
that.
It was
I've never
so
done that.
funny though for a minute.
Yeah, except when
Yeah.
we were driving home at 100 miles per hour crying because we saw Shredder
I know.
walking out the front door on our ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so sad. But
But being a dad is awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. It's every day's new, and it's like you don't really understand it unless you have kids or like have people in your family that you watch grow up. So it's like really cool to, man, every day, like one day he can flip on his tummy, now he can flip from his tummy to his back, now he can,
Yeah.
like, all these different things, like now where he's eating pureed food and shit,
Mhm.
and he's like chewing, and I'm like, it's a beautiful thing, and I love it. Balance is also extremely important because since I'm my own boss, it's like difficult because technically I could be there every single day, you know what I mean? But I still have to create as a creative, and I still have to provide for that family. So sometimes that's like, can be a little difficult to have to really make sure that I'm giving myself personal time. Cause me and my wife, we have a schedule. So I work throughout the week, but then I still kind of clock out and come home after those hours and spend the evenings with my wife. Some days are, like a day a week is just for me. A day out of the week is just for me and her. And a day out of the week is 100% all day, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. family time. So it's important.
Bobby's World.
Yeah, dude.
Double meaning
Totally.
now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good you guys do that.
It's
we have
really
the same.
important to have a schedule with a kid. Like, I never thought we could do it, but you just have to. The kids need it.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me. Got this crazy acid reflux, bro, and I'm drinking coffee and it makes my throat all mucusy. I probably
You
shouldn't
got
do that
Tums?
before the show.
Probably.
Get some Tums, dude.
It's not the Tums, it's the mucus in my throat all caked in there like a bukkake in my throat, just to make
What's
it
it f-
more
Great
disgusting.
picture.
What's it from?
From my
Look at that,
my
dude.
beautiful pure Jewish bloodline.
You're hilarious.
My acid reflux. Shit. So what it is yeah, it's super hard because first of all with the COVID, me and Ela are at home 95% of the time. And it's super difficult because a lot of times like we have a nanny during the day. And so I'm in my office trying to work, and then every time Theodore walks by and he's like, "Dad." And it's so hard not to want to spend all the time with him, but it's hard on him too because like it would be easier if I was just gone
Right.
for the work day and then came back and he knew I was home. But he doesn't understand why sometimes I can be with him and sometimes I can't. It's tough.
Yeah,
It is tough.
it's
'Cause
really
then it's
tough.
like you feel like you're a bad parent, but
Yeah,
no,
it's so hard not to give him the attention when he's like, so excited to see you. Like,
yeah. But I mean, that's what I talked to my therapist about. She just goes, as long as your child looks at you and they're smiling and they're happy when they see you or are with you, you're a good parent. You know what I mean? Like as long as you're doing what you can for them. But I think it's important to provide, and it is more difficult well, I mean, I'm not gonna say more difficult. It's also very difficult for a single mother with 2 kids to go work, 13-hour, 14-hour shifts so that she can pay her bills. So I get it. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying there are these it's also very difficult to know that your family's right there, but you got to do fucking each 3 podcasts. It's like
yeah, no, for sure. Right
Yeah.
now sorry, stay right there. I just got to get it out because this is. Yeah, we can cut that out, right
you
there.
can cut it. Yeah.
yo, oh my god, don't cut that out. Just keep that in there. So did you guys know it was like a thing that last time I did the podcast, I said gnarly like a million times?
No, I didn't know that.
No.
Yeah, if
Why?
you look it up on the internet, you can find it. I don't know how that happened. I was just like gnarly. Everything's gnarly.
I didn't notice.
I think I was just really excited and nervous, and that was like a tick.
So there's like compilations of you saying gnarly a bunch.
I'm sure it exists.
Should I watch it?
I mean, I guess
No.
so. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Thought it'd be fun to watch, but I believe you.
You say you're nervous, but you really don't look nervous. So I almost don't
I think
believe
it's
you.
I think it's because I'm a professional. So like, this is what you do. Like I'm on, but I'm not because I'm still myself. I feel like this is basically me. I mean, you guys know me, right?
Yeah.
So personally, so this is how I am,
Yeah.
but it's just a little different. I don't know how to explain
know
it. You
what you
just
mean.
watch what you say, every little word, every
Yeah.
little thing.
Yeah.
You want to piss people off. Funny thing is though, is now since I've retired from music, I don't really give a fuck anymore because there's like this disassociation between ego and caring what others people think, and then when you actually leave the shit behind, you realize a lot of things. One, you don't really exist. You're just a form of entertainment for people. They don't really view you as a human being. So when they say nice things, fucked up things, whatever, it's more about this persona and not really you personally. And when you step away from that limelight and that part of the industry, it allows you to take that so easy. Like there was this dude. Do you guys know Anthony Fontano?
Yeah.
The Melon.
Yeah, yep, the Melon. So he like is really great at what he does, but he would review my music ever since my mixtapes, and it would always like fuck me up because he would always basically say how I wasn't like good enough. You know what I mean? Like, well, this isn't this and this isn't that and da-da-da. Mind you, he wasn't just totally shitting on me. He would give me like credit. Like if something's good, he would say it's good. Mind you, it's just his opinion, right? But I find it really funny that after I announced my retirement and stepped away, now me and this dude like text each other and shit. Now he's like, I consider him like a buddy. Like I'll text him about fun shit like video games or music, and we just talk, and everything he could have ever said about Logic doesn't matter. And having that sense of freedom is something that's actually really beautiful. But I think it's kind of also ironic that when I'm like, all right, fuck it, I really actually don't care. I mean, I care. I don't care 98%. There's still that 2% as a creative that cares what people say about you, right? You can never fully do it. But it's just, I find it funny that now that I don't need that acceptance, this album's doing great and everybody loves it.
Yeah,
It's kind
I know.
of funny how
I
that
was
works, right?
totally thinking about that. It's just
So
so funny. I mean, yeah, should we talk about?
Well, even Melon gave you a good review. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was really happy for you that because
I've seen
he's been brutal in the
his
past, to be
reviews
honest.
when it's negative, and
Yeah.
I've thought about it's got to be so hard to be the artist that is being criticized because
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it's not good, it's still a person, and like just to have to hear your work being criticized
Yeah,
in
it's-
such
it's
detail.
painful.
It's gotta be so painful.
But the funny thing is like not good to who, right?
Well,
'Cause
yeah,
Alan
clearly.
Watts said
Yeah.
anything you can be interested in, you'll find others who are. So it's like,
Yeah.
I actually, so I did this soundtrack for my book, right? And I just had fun. And if you really listen to it, it's just all songs that I wrote while I was falling in love with my wife. You know what I mean? The woman of my, that gave birth to my child. So it's like, it's all from the heart. And I've met people that are like, oh my God, that's my favorite album of yours because I was falling in love at the same time, or this or that. And then there's other people who just hate it. But it's like, what is that? It's subjective. But I believe even the great Melon also knows that, like, and that's why I love that in all his videos, it's always, this is just my opinion, right? Which I think is really important. But bro, yeah, he's torn me up, but he's also shown me a lot of love. But it's also, when you are that artist, it feels like the whole world is on you. Everything is you. But it's like, dude, he like destroyed Chance the Rapper. Like he's destroyed Drake. He's destroyed so many artists before. And it's just like, I don't know. It's kind of entertaining. It
sucks to be involved. It's like the drama, the YouTube drama. It's great to watch. It's horrible to be involved in, and I could say that from my side many times. But from the creative, I have that same reaction too. It's like it's just so painful at times to get that feedback, but like and to know like, oh, they don't hate me, right? They don't. It's hard to separate that and know like, oh, they don't hate me. I'm not a bad person because I made an album that they don't like. It's weird to have to say that, but you feel like a bad person when.
I've been on Madison Square Garden, sold out, everyone there to see me, and then you feel like a failure because like my last album before this one, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. A lot of people said that they like hated it because it was just a bunch of turn up music for the most part. It was just me like just rapping to rap and just like kind of having fun and not really overthinking it. And then people were like, you can't do this. Like you're Logic. Like you can't rap this way. Like you have to be lyrical miracle guy and all this shit. So then they were like, this sucks. This is terrible. Mind you, the people that said that, it's just such a small sect of people on the internet in a cove of, this like loud minority, because I'm like, okay, you can say those things, but I just sold out the Garden. Do you know what I mean? Like I just sold out an arena of people who are screaming lyrics to the song that you don't like because it's very popular. So knowing that and being in it is very difficult. Now being on the other side of it, it's like, who gives it? It doesn't fucking matter. I made a bunch of money and had a blast. What's wrong with that? But it is funny to see. There's two sides of it, right? Because I'm like Bobby Tarantino. I make my trap music and all this other shit. And then there's a fan base. There's a part of my fan base that goes, no, we like the super hip hop shit. Don't do this. But when I do the super hip hop shit, the people who want the turn up shit go, what are you doing? We want the turn up shit. And then when I make some indie rock shit and I'm having fun, everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing? But I step back and I'm happy to know I'm not in a box and I'm not making the same song and the same album over and over again. I'm actually trying different shit, and because of it, I'm happier. And now I look at my career, it's about 14 or 15 projects, full-length projects in a row, sometime once a year, every year, sometimes twice a year, for the last 10 years now, 11 years, and I have no regrets. Yeah, and that's important.
Yeah, I feel like the big theme of the album was just all these people tearing you in different directions, and everyone's expectation of you, how you should be this way, you should be this way. Your old stuff was the good shit, and now you had that line, your new stuff's not the old. What was it? Fuck me.
Your new shit's not as good as your old shit, so your new shit is your old shit.
Yeah, I love that. Even as a YouTube creator, I get that too.
I know. I've seen it. It's
Yeah.
like hilarious. Like you've even done videos on it. Like but it's what it comes down to also is it's the time in someone's life, and it's also relatability. So when you and Hila were like fucking, did you guys do videos in Israel?
Yeah. That's how we
So
started.
like when you're there, it was like, oh my God, who are these people? And then when you make the move to the States, like you're like kind of coming up and things are different or whatever, it's like, we're coming up. Wow, we're watching these people we love. They're going from an apartment to a house. Oh my God, they're going to a house with 2 bedrooms to 4 bedrooms. Oh my God. And then you like are in a mansion and have your own fucking clothing company and you become a millionaire, and they're like, not the same,
These
man.
people are out of touch.
Yeah.
That's what we get now all the time. They're so out of touch.
they rooting for you only to a point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it's also like,
But
fine.
to speak generally, because like you pointed out, there are tons of fans who still wish and support us and wish the best for us. So it's the loud minority that always just is like gets in your head. And it's a shame, but it's just
because
human nature.
I think it's like the jungle. Like if you're on the African plain or something, right? Say, and you walk out from the brush, only a fucking idiot looks at the sky and goes, wow, it's so blue. You're getting out of that brush and you're looking for lions immediately, because that's what we are designed to do as human beings, to make sure that everything is okay before we can then look to the sky. So I think like genetically, like
there you go.
It's in us to look at the negative, on the internet or whatever.
That's so fucked up, but it's true.
It's so true. I can't, you just can't not look at it.
But it's so
as much as you
fucked up
try.
because like it sucks so bad to give those people the attention.
It does.
When like the good, kind-hearted, wholesome people that love you and want to support you, you kind of look past them because you're trying to identify the lions in your analogy. And these people are just they don't deserve your attention. You know what I mean?
But I think it's also what's it called? Imposter syndrome. Like I think a lot of creative people have that, where it's like you almost feel like a fraud.
I was just gonna say that.
So yeah, right. It's like so
all
when
the
you
time.
see these
like
things,
even
you feel that
now
way.
with Teddy Fresh, I get to have that feeling whenever there's something a little like it's you feel like a fraud.
Yeah, even though you're not, it's like you feel like you don't belong. You feel like, oh, I couldn't have done that. Like literally, I'm like, oh, what? Like I went platinum. What the fuck? Like, what do you mean? Like, what is it? How did that even happen? And then so in a like a sadistic way, it's almost like you're looking to those comments to actually validate your own insecurity or prove that you really don't belong there, even though there's the other side of you that wants to combat that. And it's like for every negative comment on the internet, I always had a response that I would, want to say to that person and be like, bro, we'd be like best friends. Like take the fact that you don't like my raps or how I look or this or that or whatever the case, like take that out of it. Like I see you like Cowboy Bebop, you like The Last of Us, you like all this shit. Like we should be best friends, but you want to tell me to fucking kill myself and say all the shit about me because I don't know, I wore my hat to the side or some dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But once again, when you like, I haven't been on the internet, dude, in a really long time.
I wanted to ask you about that. I'm jealous. I'm thinking of following in your path. No Twitter, no Instagram, Reddit. You go on Reddit?
Sometimes I sneak to Reddit. Like every couple months, I'll go to Reddit because my fans are there and I love them and I go.
Oh, you go to your subreddit.
Yeah, I go to my subreddit. Yeah. So I'll just go there and just like kind of creep. Because sometimes fans write really sweet things and sometimes they write fucked up things too. And then it reminds me. That's why I love Twitch. I did see on like some people were telling me that people were trying to say, because I said that me going to Twitch is going to be so much better and it's going to be the best way for me to interact with my fans. And then all these people were like, well, looks like you've never been on Twitch before. Like I'm a fucking idiot. Like I don't know public comments exist, but I'm going sub comments only. So it's like if I go sub comments only plus mods plus not being able to say negative words and all this other shit. It's funny because a lot of people would be like, oh, that's like pussy shit. Like you have thin skin. You can't take it. Like who wants to be called like, like negative shit all day?
Well, how is that helpful to anyone's enjoyment of the stream for people to just come in and
even
say
the people
mean
who
shit?
just want to have a fun time, it's going to ruin it for them.
It doesn't, But it's easy to say that, it's so unnatural to be on the receiving end of millions of people's opinions about you. Because again, one of the themes of your album is like, it used to be so easy to make raps when you were in the basement and you had the whole world ahead of you and no expectations. But now where you are with people having all these expectations of who you should be and so many opinions on you, it's not the same. Yeah.
Well, first of all, before I talk about that, I do want to say I'm really happy. Like I am fucking happy and I'm very comfortable with myself and I'm very comfortable in my own skin. And I think you can even notice that if you look at these interviews I've done recently, as opposed to like anything I've ever done before, I was always like trying to sell you that everything was okay and like life's great and all this shit when it really wasn't. But the reason I'm saying this right now is because not that we are. I just want people out there to know.
Sorry, dude. What is wrong with me today?
Bro, this is why people love you. Don't just embrace it. Embrace it.
Well, it's a little.
Anyway, I just want to say that, like, I don't believe that this conversation right now is focusing on negative. I think what we're doing, and I don't want it to be perceived that way by the viewers, I think what we're doing is just talking about shit that is starting to now be talked about more, which I appreciate it. But because this doesn't just affect creatives and famous people, it also affects everyday people who do things for likes or do things for comments or whatever to try to get that validation. So that's the only reason I'm even like really diving into this. Regarding what you just, what you just said, you're rubbing off on me. Yes, it's very difficult when, 10 years ago, nobody gave a shit about me and I wrote raps just to rap. Like I just wrote to write and that was it. And it was fun and it wasn't that simple. Now knowing that millions of people, and songs will get billions of streams, it was a scary thing on this album because it's like, dude, everyone's going to feel a way. And I took it all out of my head. That even though it would still, pop in, but not being on the internet, I didn't listen to any rap music at all, current rap music or anything while making this album. I just went from a place of like, okay, what's everything that I love? Because to me, this is it's like a love letter to hip hop. There's so many different samples from Erykah Badu to Outkast to, so many people, and nods and love and, showing love to Kendrick and Cole and all these people. But knowing that, is this line good enough? Like, is this a good line? Is this even worth it? I don't know. I have a line on the song called Aquarius 3 where I say, I remember window shopping. Now I'm shopping for windows for my baby new room, Bobby coming soon. And that's the type of line I would have second guessed putting all my shit before.
I love that line, by the way.
Yeah, out of fear that they would hate because they couldn't relate because it wasn't relevant. Give a fuck if it's evident. This right here is the evidence. I'm like Leo and Revenant. Bear with me, dog. Like, fucking feel what I'm saying. So to piggyback on what you were saying, sorry for talking so much, that was a very difficult thing to know that millions of people are going to analyze every single thing that I do, but to have the freedom and the strength to go, fuck it. Do
you think that having a kid helped you not care as much on all that little things?
Yeah, because when you have a child, you realize like all that matters is that my child breathes and that my partner is happy. Like that's literally, I would like when we brought him home from the hospital, you're like, checking under his fucking thing to make sure he's breathing. This is the shit they don't tell you,
dude.
And it's like, bro,
God.
In California, okay, you have to wait like 3,000 years to like buy a firearm if you have like a clear record and everything's fine. They just throw a baby at you out of the hospital and send you home. It's crazy.
And like, by the way, there's a shit called sudden infant death.
Death syndrome.
Did anybody tell me that there's a thing called where babies just fucking suddenly die?
The whole first week was so stressful
because they're too hot. Either because they get too hot or they roll over in their sleep. They just fucking. It's called sudden infant death.
I mean, there's so many things. What? They turn yellow all of a sudden.
Jaundice.
Yeah.
Did you know that babies turn yellow? I didn't.
Yeah, jaundice. Yeah, they get. Yeah.
And you put them under a lamp.
Yeah, you put them under a fucking lamp like a plant, dude. Was your baby yellow at all?
No, we were very lucky. He was good. And, I was very nervous about it and scared. Even to this day, I'm scared. I had a friend of mine, and my brother actually were just in this crazy car accident, like insane, like totaled car, completely destroyed. And they walked out of it, mind you. They were still fucked up and had to go to the hospital. I get to the scene and there's cars smashed and on fire. And I'm looking at my brothers on a stretcher and all this shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? But they're okay now. We were just playing COD last night. So everything's okay. But anyway, I'm always like, so I see a therapist every week and I love her. She's the bomb and she's helped me through so much. And a big thing is also like this term called future tripping, like, like constantly thinking about the future and tripping on shit that's really out of your control. You can't do. Like I used to have a deathly fear of flying to the point where I almost bought a tour bus, you know what I mean, on some like DJ Khaled shit. And, but I was like, I got to get through that. I was like, I can't let this thing, because it's about control, it's about feeling like you're not in control, but you're never in control. You could have a fucking aneurysm right now. You could walk outside and get hit by a bus. You could, or, you could walk outside and meet the love of your life or get the dream job you always wanted. Like if you're constantly thinking negative, your life's going to be negative. If you think more positive, life will be positive. So I apply that same thought to my son as much as I can, but also intrusive thoughts are gnarly.
Yeah.
Like, like having those visions of like your baby like falling and their head
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
cracking
yeah.
open, and
Yes.
you're like,
Yeah.
what? And you think this like really sick shit, and you're so scared. It's normal as human, right?
Yeah.
A lot of human beings have intrusive thoughts regardless. But pushing I was dealing with intrusive thoughts for a while there, and I felt like I was like a sicko in general. And then my therapist was like, no, those are normal. You just don't pay attention to them,
Exactly.
because the more you think about it, the more it does. And then now I don't even really think about shit like that.
That was the thing. Like when I was in high school, I developed generalized anxiety disorder. And I feel like what it did is just makes you hyper aware of shit that was always happening and you just trip
Yeah.
about it. Like, for example, intrusive thoughts. It was always happening. But now when it would happen, I would, like you said, maybe your baby falling out and dying, or just some weird graphic thought that comes into your mind. I start to obsess about it, right? Or like a song would get stuck in my head, and I would start to obsess like that I'm fucking losing my mind because I can't get this song out of my head. Stupid shit. I remember when I floaters, when you look like at a blue
Oh
sky.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I was dying because I saw floaters, bro. Like that just goes to show how crazy it can get in the mind.
No, but that's the
Yeah.
power of the mind. This is what I wrote in my novel, Supermarket, New York Times bestseller, #1.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. You got to flex that. But a lot of that I wrote. If you ever read the book, it's basically me. Like it's everything I was going through. I was experiencing derealization, where you feel disconnected from reality. I was constantly like second guessing my own sanity. I was questioning what sanity is, what it isn't, and what I think that is low key just like creative tax. Like if you're a creative person, like that comes with it. You're gonna kind of be overstimulated mentally. You're always gonna think weird shit that you shouldn't think, and this and that. But it's like a gift and a curse. If we're blessed as creatives to do dope shit and make dope art, there's some demons that kind of come with it. Like, dude, my biggest thing, honestly, and I talked about this recently have I talked about this. Sorry, goddamn, fucking Ethan, dude, you got me now. I have a really gnarly tremor, right? And it's called essential tremor, and it's in my hands, but it's not that bad in my hands. But you see that? So if I'm at rest, it's fine. But it's all in my body, right? Except my dick. And
Your
the
body
weird-
tremors?
yeah. So it's like it depends. It's like
Like at a certain position.
yes, exactly. Like muscles will move basically all the time. And yeah, it's this neurological disorder and it sucks. But the thing that fucks with me the most, like my biggest demon nowadays, is that it's in my head. So I can't really, and I'm good at like hiding it. And it's not as bad as it could be because it can be degenerative. And that's what's scary, is knowing that I can really be out here on some like fucked up, like shaking shit in the future. And that really scares me. And there's options. Like I even tried to take this medication, but it was like anti-seizure medication, and it made me feel all fucked up and weird. And I was like, I just can't. I only took like 2 half doses and I couldn't do it. But my biggest thing that scares me is acting, because I love acting and I've been doing it recently, from mocap with video games to this dope TV show with one of my acting idols, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's a friend of mine, and, you know, movies and shit that I have already. And I'm just scared I'm not going to be able to stand without my like head kind of shaking. And I know this might sound stupid, but everybody's got problems. That's what I'm trying to say. Like everyone's got something that they think about that bothers them. And that one's one that really sucks. But I like to be open about it, because I mean, it's kind of like the fat guy calling himself fat before anybody else gets a chance to, because then you just air it out and you put it in the room, and then it's like, hey, okay, say whatever you want now.
So
Yeah.
So you say it moved up to your head where it wasn't there before, and you mean by that just that your head kind of tremors a little bit?
Yeah, it was like sometimes I know it's not, but sometimes I wonder if it's a tick, but I don't think it is. For example, there's a yes motion and a no motion. The thing is, when I'm moving, and it's also like sensory. If I'm looking around and I'm slightly moving my head, you can't tell. But if I'm utterly still and standing up straight, my shit goes like this, literally, and I can't stop it. It's like fucking crazy. And there's a yes motion and a no motion, and the yes motion is 100% uncontrollable. Like if I'm trying to, like, I don't know, do something, I don't know, like fix my hair or something, and I'm just giving you an example, and I need to be as still as possible, or like get a haircut. I can't do it because I'm so focused. It's called I think it's like also a reaction tremor. So if you're trying to do something, it can fuck with you. Anyway, it's kind of a boring subject, but
No, I'm intrigued.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Well, I have
yeah, it
Tourette's and
sucks.
tics too, so I am interested by it. I mean, no, I mean I'm interested in what's going on in your
Does
mind.
it
dude.
hurt you
Yeah.
physically?
No, it's more emotionally, honestly. And I
Yeah.
know that sounds crazy, but it's like this. It's like somebody like poking you because you notice it and it rips you. I think about it a lot. And my therapist, she's like putting me through pain management. And I'm like, yeah, but there's no pain. And she goes, yeah, but there's emotional pain here. And if you're constantly angry about it and upset about it, and I didn't realize I'm actually really, really hard on myself. That's another thing in general. My therapist, she's like, you need to be nicer to yourself. She's like, you're so hard on yourself. And I'm like, I was like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? I'm like, but it's how you say shit. Like, for example, a lot of people do this. I do it. And then now I correct myself, but I'll be like, okay, here's like a stupid fucking idea, right? That in itself is being mean to yourself. Like, here's a stupid fucking idea that you're trying to downplay. So maybe it is a good idea, but if people don't like it, then it's okay. Like, bro, here's an idea. My idea is this. If somebody wants to shit on you, cool, but don't shit on yourself, man. You know? So those are little things that I'm learning to just be a better me and a happier me through therapy.
Yeah, I have a similar thing where I have Tourette's, and so I've got all these facial tics and stuff, and I assumed that I could never really act either in like a professional setting, just because it's so distracting. So I probably just didn't even ever try to pursue that. But I have not noticed the tremor, but
Yeah, my wife, she says it's more like something that only I really notice, and most people don't notice it. But the reason that they don't notice it is because I'm so good at hiding it. So, you know, like it's why I'm sitting in this chair. It's why I'm in this position right now, because I enjoy, because at rest, that's the one thing that makes me feel good. I don't shake. But it's when I go for that action tremor or whatever, when I go to do an action, then it starts to shake. If you look at other interviews I've done recently where I like had to sit on my couch and shit, I kind of move a lot. And the reason I move is because I don't want to stay in one position, or it's even as simple as like placing the tip of my finger on my head and kind of moving it to the side, and it'll stop it. So I'm always constantly moving or doing little things.
Interesting.
Yeah, but the crazy shit is, it's like I feel like Penn and Teller. Like I'm doing all these things that
Sleight of
nobody
hand.
knows are being done to like,
well,
you know, do the magic of looking like a normal human being, and I'm not.
people
you know?
used to say that to me, like they go, I thought you just had really expressive eyebrows. I'm like, nah, dude, I'm fucked up.
But you know what's funny? Let me ask you this too, because some days I feel like it's better than others. And with Tourette's, I've seen, because I've seen like all your guys' videos, you know, and I've noticed times where it basically barely never even would happen in a video. Do you think personally that it comes with stress, or is it random, or is it the more you think about it, the more it happens? Personally, I'm curious.
They
Hey
say
guys,
that
I'm
stress.
sorry to interrupt. We got to go to break.
What?
We got to go to break.
What does
Was that a
mean?
soundbite?
It was a soundbite. I asked Zach to use the bite, but that is true. We got to go to break.
Let's do
What
it
do we
after
do on a
this
break?
question.
Dude, Dan does this thing where he ruins conversations by saying we have to go to break. Huh. I don't know how I feel about getting the soundbite on me.
You've told me a million times to use it.
Not on me, on other people.
Oh,
no, I'm kidding. What were we saying?
Do you feel that your tics and your Tourette's?
You fuck.
There's times when it's been I've noticed
Yeah.
where it's almost not even there. Like,
Yeah.
where were you? I want to know, where were you in your life when you know, the tics were less? What were you feeling? I'm just curious.
So, they say that Tourette's gets triggered by stress, because Tourette's is a weird condition where it can come and go in severity, but it's an uncurable genetic issue, neurological issue, and it first manifested when I was like 8 or something like that. It was super weird. I think I was at my like grandma was getting remarried, and one of the guests there was like ticking out, like doing this with his head, and I thought it looked cool, and I started doing it. But my parent and I that's the first time I remember actually doing a tick, but my parents say that they noticed it before me. Thing is, it runs in my family, so my mom was kind of like looking out for it already. But when I was really young, it was super bad. Like my parents took this home video of me in elementary school when I was supposed to be standing up straight as Davy Crockett. I had like a musket and I was doing this whole David Crockett speech, but I was like twitching out so fucking crazy. I've gone back and watched that home video. I don't remember it being that bad, but it was brutal.
Do you feel it when it happens?
So the thing is that it's not involuntary with Tourette's. It's like you have an itch
Yeah.
and you have this overwhelming burning need to do this thing. So like if I'm sitting in a room, I can not tick, but it's like ignoring this really brutal desire to itch yourself, scratch.
Okay, wait, hold on right now. Okay, just try not to do it. Just stay. Don't even talk. I just want to see how long.
Yeah, I can. I mean,
You just did it.
You just did it with the eyebrows.
oh, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice.
I think it's cool though. Like,
No,
I
it
mean, I'm
doesn't-
not gonna be like,
Yeah.
this fucking
Well-
thing that plagues you is cool. But it's like, I
No.
think it's dope. I think you're like an advocate for it. I think you're a very successful person. I think you have a partner who's there for you and understand, and it lets people know, like, dude, not only do you live a normal life, you live an extraordinary life with this thing that a lot of people are self-conscious about. And honestly, as I'm saying this, it makes me feel better about myself. Like that's what you're doing. So
Well,
keep doing
thank
it.
you. I'm very fortunate because I have a mild case. Some people have it really, really, really.
But you do
bad.
go through phases where sometimes it will get worse, and
Yeah.
or you'll have certain tics that even hurt you, and
Yeah.
you're like, my neck just hurts
My
all
neck,
the
or
time,
if I used to get headaches
Or-
all the time because I would shake my head like really violently.
or your
Yeah.
throat when you have like the
Yeah.
vocal one.
But the one, but still that's mild, right? Because with people who have really bad Tourette's, they're just screaming out obscenities, and that's a really rare form of Tourette's. Only like 2% of people have it, where they like
Scream.
like curse,
where they curse. They have this desire to like curse and stuff. But Tourette's is characterized by having vocal tics as opposed to OCD or something like that. So I'm always clearing my throat and going like stuff like. Some
Yeah.
people may notice that I do that, but I was really fortunate growing up to have like an unusually kind and supportive group of friends who didn't goof on me for it.
That's dope.
Because I feel like you could easily get fucked by a bunch of ruthless kids, and my friends were just unusually accepting, I have to say, looking back on it. They would go, "Why are you doing that?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I have this thing called Tourette's," and they'd be like, "Oh, cool," and then they would never bring it up again.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I was like, "Wow." Yeah, looking back, I'm like, "Wow, that is extraordinary." So I've been fortunate, in that regard.
My biggest thing. Wait, do we have to take a break or something?
Okay, let's take a break.
Let's take it now.
But
then.
it's not a
But
real
we
break.
yeah, we can just say
We're just gonna be like, okay, we're cutting, and then I'm gonna do the ad later. So here, break. This may not look like much to you in stature, but what this little block of indestructible metal is a wallet for the new world. Ridge Wallet. Revolutionizing the wallet as we know it. No longer do we need to walk around with giant Costanza wallets that frankly give you back problems, that mess your posture up when you sit down on them. It's just out of date. What do we need change for? What do we need all this crap for? The Ridge Wallet. Money clip, boom. Credit cards up to like 11 fit perfectly in there and slide right out. I use this, but I always show my credit card number, so everybody prohibits me from showing my actual one in my wallet. It's indestructible. You buy it once, you own it for life. I'll tell you what, this metal that it's made of actually prevents digital thieves. There's people that scan your shit when they walk by you. They can't do that in this. And they've got all these beautiful models, too. Look at you. That one's sick. It's got a nice...
rose gold.
It's like metallic. Oh, it's rose gold.
I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know if that's what it's called, but it's
It's got like a metallic rose finish.
yeah.
It's real nice. Ridge wallet. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's a great wallet. We all love it. We all got on the Ridge train, and we haven't looked back. Right, Zach?
I love Ridge. Amazing product. Could not be happier with it.
And you're not just saying that, are you?
Absolutely not. It's a game changer. Absolute game changer.
How can they tell if you're just saying that or because you really love it?
I really love this product.
Yeah, but how can
really-
they tell you're not lying, Zach?
I can't express to you enough how much I love this product.
No, but say it so they believe you. No, I'm just kidding. Zach does use it all the time. There's over 30 colors and styles. Actually, I want to pull it up because they're really cool. Ridge.com/H3. That's right. Ridge.com/H3. Look at all these beautiful colors. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, sold out. Wow. I like the burnt. I like
the
my
one I use.
titanium like I like my...
Why is there a little Zach in the
Bacon.
corner? I got a little baby Zach.
Oh, he's small. Why? Can you not see it? Does it matter?
It doesn't really matter. He's just there.
Yeah, I like seeing Zach. Makes me feel comfortable.
Oh, thank you.
Camo, aluminum. Yeah, tiki, pink. Blah, blah. It's rose gold. You're
Oh,
right.
it is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let me tell you about Ridge. They've got 30,000 five-star reviews. It's durable and lasts for a lifetime. Ridge team is so confident that you'll like it. You can test drive it for 45 days, and if you don't love it, you can send it back for a full refund. Wow. Here is the deal as well. You can get 10% off right now with free worldwide shipping and returns by going to ridge.com/H3. That's ridge.com/H3 and use code H3. Hey, ho, 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 ho. Hey, we're back.
So, just to end this with the one thing that really freaks me out: talk shows. Because of this thing, right? It's like, and that's my in-laws' dogs. They're staying with us.
Oh.
Sadie,
I can,
shut
I
the
can
fuck
barely
up.
I can barely hear him. By the way.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
cool.
not.
Talk shows, man. Like, for me, it's where you feel like you can't relax or that you have to stand a certain way or look a certain way, and then I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna like shake or freak out or whatever. That's it. But I mean, at the end of the day, dude, fuck it.
I feel like you should just let it shake. Just
Shake and bake.
shake it up.
I mean, look at who was it? Was it Liza Minnelli? I think so, right? Am I tripping? Was
Does
it
she have a
Liza Minnelli?
shake?
No, Liza Minnelli's mom. Who's Liza Minnelli's mom? Who's the chick from Wizard of Oz?
Judy Garland.
Judy Garland. Yes. She had essential tremor.
Oh,
Huh.
so there you go.
Yeah, so that's why she was like that. Yeah, I guess so. Whatever.
But I think,
anyway,
I think the thing to do is just instead of feeling nervous and trying to hide it, just fucking let it hang out, and it is what it is, right? I mean, the thing about my Tourette's is I could easily be like, oh, I'm never gonna get in front of a camera because I look like a freak, and I think people embrace it because I embrace it.
I agree. I think I'm comfortable with it. That's why I talk about it. But
Yeah.
it still personally ails me. So that's why I try to do the things that I can do where it doesn't shake, because I haven't reached a point where, because like I said, it feels like someone's poking me. It feels like I notice it. It rips me from the moment with my
Oh.
son.
I've
Yeah,
had that,
so-
yeah, I see. I've had that happen
That's
before. Like very rarely, I'll feel like someone poked my neck, and I'm like, "Phew," like that.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like I would like metaphorically poking me, like.
So it takes you out of the moment, though.
Yeah, because like I'll be talking to my son or I mean playing with my son or talking to my wife, and then I'll just like my head will start going like this, and then I realize it, and I'm like, what the
just
fuck?
get
And then
all in the moment.
everything we just talked about, so that it's like that, but it's not that
See.
deep. Anyway,
It is that deep, dude. How
yeah,
dare
right.
you?
It is.
So, how good are you at swaddling?
I'm a swaddle master.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
you would be. I'm pretty good
Yeah.
at the swaddle too.
I was pretty good with swaddle, man. I did a good job. For those of you out there who don't know what we're talking
Yeah.
about, Swaddling is when you basically take like a little blanket for a baby and you make them all nice and tight.
Burrito 'em.
Yeah, you make them a little burrito.
It's awesome. Dude.
And
It's literally like doing a burrito. You flip it over.
You were really
tuck
good at it.
in.
I never got good at it somehow.
Yeah,
same with Brittany.
was
Well,
always,
Brittany
like,
was cool.
loose.
My wife, she was all right, but
dude, our nurse is like the fucking master
Yeah.
of the swaddle.
It's
so
like he couldn't
I was
break out of
living-
it.
Yeah,
There's
it's like
no
a straight
way.
jacket. So I was living in her shadow, but doing my best. And
I was just texting her because I told her to come say hello. She's like, I'm shy. Is it on the podcast? And I'm like, fuck it. It's all good.
yeah,
Come
I'd
say
love to
hello.
see them.
Yeah, I don't know where Bobby is because we have his aunt who's going to start helping us take care of him a few days a week, so that way, my wife can, because she paints now, which is really amazing. She's a really good artist, actually, and just to have that time, because she's 21 too, dude. Like she's so young, and the thing is, she was very much so like she didn't want help. She wanted to do everything herself,
Yeah.
which I get. And she's like an amazing mom. But I kind of was like, yo, like you deserve to have a life. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. You're still a great mom. Go do some shit, whether it's like horseback riding and painting or just enjoying it. Like you deserve that throughout the week. Go
Yeah.
do it. So
At first, I feel like I totally get that. Because at first, especially on your first kid, it's just you don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, and you just want to be there and experience the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I
for
don't even
sure.
see Theodore. No, I'm kidding. Everyone's gonna be like, Ethan's the worst dad.
Out of touch.
I know. It's
No,
funny
it's
though,
not
also how people will just take an obvious joke and really try to like.
Oh
what is
yeah.
wrong?
Yeah. So why? So you're out of L.A. Escape from L.A. What was the name of that movie?
Escape from LA.
Escape from
Well,
LA.
just
You got
said
it.
But what
Yeah.
was the franchise?
Well,
Nate
Escape from
Plissken.
New York was the first one.
Yeah.
But what was the name? What was the franchise?
Just the Escape
Escape
franchise, I
movies.
guess.
Oh, they just escaped.
Yeah.
Shit, that was a bad
The Escape
movie.
Saga.
Yeah. So how has Escape from LA been for you?
It's been great because I was never really an LA guy, and I didn't realize that until like 10 years of being in LA. Like,
You had just recently-ish moved to the house where we last saw you.
yeah, 2 years.
And you were-
So 2018, yeah.
You were doing a lot of work on that house. Was it a bummer to like do all that work and then bounce?
Wow, that's a great question. So, for those of you out there who don't know what he's referring to exactly, I built this crazy theater for like 300 grand, and then I built a home studio for $1 million.
Whoa! Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
nice studio.
Oh my god.
I loved it. Yeah, it's really amazing. But where I am now is like way better. And I love it. And it is a little sad that I don't have that, but I think I'm just going to like, I don't know, either build a studio or buy one but I also don't need it. Like I'm still always going to make music, even though I'm retired. Like I love music, like whether it's rap music or any kind. So I'm still going to do that. And somehow, I don't know. I might just like Andre 3000 it and like every once in a while, like drop a random song or do a feature or something like that. But besides that, as far as albums and shit, I'm done with that. Yeah.
Did you sell your house in LA?
Not yet. I'm
Okay.
just fixing a few little things and then I'll put it up. To
Yeah, I
sell.
was wondering if you got like, I wonder if you're gonna get your investment back or you don't care. You just want to get it.
I don't really care, but I think I'll be able to. I'm definitely going to make money on it for sure because I improved it so much. And whoever's going to buy it is definitely going to be an entertainer, either film or music, because of the studio.
Because of
Nobody's
the
just going to buy a
studio, for
studio.
sure.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
crazy studio.
So
like
it's
that.
going to be worth it to that person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it won't be like a loss or anything.
But where you moved, it's got to be the real estate cost has got to be way less, right?
Yeah, dude. So my house that I'm in now is 4 stories, 4 levels, and it's literally 4 times the size of the
What?
house that you guys saw.
That's crazy.
Oh my god.
It's crazy, and it was for like $1 million less than I originally
Whoa.
bought the other house for.
Dude,
Wow.
it's crazy when you just step outside like New York or Los Angeles or these kind of cities and did it blow your mind what you could get for that price?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you
It's
get so
crazy.
desensitized.
Come here.
Here we go.
Come here. Come on. Here, come kneel. Kneel right here. Say hello.
Hey.
How are you guys?
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Congrats on
nervous.
being a new parent.
I'm very camera shy.
Yeah. Can you hear them?
Oh, can you hear it?
Kinda.
Yeah. How was
Yeah, very
how's being a mom?
It's amazing. It's hard.
Yeah,
It is
it's hard.
so
It's very hard.
Dude, the first 6 months, because we're in like year 1.3 now. The first 6
Right.
months is the most brutal for sure.
It's really tough. It's stressful.
Yeah.
But I think now we're getting our routine down.
Yeah.
We're like creating a schedule.
Yeah.
We have help. Help has been
Dude,
like my
Yeah.
mom, grandma has been a huge help.
help rules.
I wouldn't have been able to do it without her for sure. But I mean, I would have, but it
Yeah.
would have been tough.
It's just so
No, she's
hard.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the bomb.
Does
Anyway,
you
But
sleep
it's
through the
amazing.
night?
oh yeah, baby
You-
sleeps through the night.
Yeah.
that's what's up.
Sleep training.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a night nurse that helped us sleep.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
best.
yeah. You got to get the
It's
night.
good. Are you nervous?
Yeah, I'm very camera shy.
Can I keep talking to you, or do you want to leave?
What? Oh, I'm okay.
Okay, cool.
We're just
As long
talking.
as you're comfortable.
No, I'm okay.
So-
Our privacy is very important. I love how I'm like, come be on this huge podcast with me.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
But our
if,
privacy is important. But we're buddies, so it's a little different.
well, how was the birth?
How was what?
How was the
Birth?
whole hospital and everything, and the birth and stuff?
It's really cool to look back on
Yeah.
because now I know. This sounds weird, but now I know my pain tolerance. Like,
Oh.
yeah,
Did you do the
I'm
epidural?
sure Ela knows. Yeah,
Yep.
like it was. I basically went all the way without the. I got the
Oh,
epidural
no.
like last
Okay.
minute.
Literally, like she got
Yeah.
the epidural, and then 15 minutes later,
Oh
Yeah.
my God, really?
So I'm so glad
Wow.
I got it when I did, because then I would have been doing it naturally. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's really cool to look back on, and I love telling the story to friends and stuff
yeah.
because they're always like, "I can't believe you gave birth."
I have an audio journal that I've been doing for like really giant moments in my life, and I
Mm.
started with that. My buddy Guy Raz, he's got a podcast called How I Built This, and he basically was like, "Yeah, you should create audio journals where you
Mm.
just record like these moments as they happen, like right after they happen, and then you'll have every single detail." And that's one of them. Like I saw them like
Mm.
pop or water and shit. It was fucking gnarly.
Mhm.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
you made
dude.
that like a few days after, right? Because
Yeah,
you were
like-
like, "We have to remember this."
Yeah, it was like 3 days. But to me, it was like really beautiful. I know like a lot of people, honestly, like certain guys I know are like, "Nah, man, you don't want to see that shit, dog." And you don't want to. It made me even more attracted to my wife personally, seeing like that and everything that happened. I loved it. I thought it was crazy. It was really funny though, because my back was hurting. We have to talk about how I fucked my back up.
Was he complaining about his back hurting?
Yeah, she's in bed, and I'm like, "You have no idea the pain I experienced."
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was obviously joking. I was kidding. Thanks, bro.
When I was having like the worst contractions, getting a needle stuck in my back, he's like, "My back hurts." Like,
Oh, that's
I was
fucking
doing it to
awesome.
make her
Be
laugh.
like, hey, can I get some of that epidural?
yeah.
One thing that was really cool is for the show I told you about with my buddy Joe, I was going over my lines, and I had been going because like whenever I do something, especially acting, I just go all in, and I make it like that's the biggest focus. Obviously, besides my wife giving birth, but while she was there in bed, we were like doing our lines back and forth
Yeah.
together. It was really cool.
It was
Helped to, like,
fun. It was like a
distract her.
distraction. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you regret not getting the epidural earlier, or are you happy that you got it right up at the end?
I'm happy I did it at the end. I definitely could have gotten it earlier, but it was a pretty intense pain right before. So, like I said, I'm glad I did it when I did, because then now I know I can go through that amount of pain.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. Yeah. Now I'm prepared for next baby, but
But she
I
has
mean,
a good
that's
pain
how I
tolerance.
felt too. I felt like I feel like my whole life I had a fear of giving birth. Like it just
Mhm.
seemed to me like the worst thing possible.
yeah.
And it just like yeah, it's painful, but it's fine. Like you can make it through it. And
Yeah, definitely looking back at it, it's like, oh,
Mhm.
wasn't terrible.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
could do that shit.
I don't want to do. Yeah, I'll do it. Oh my god.
You
I-
would die.
Yeah, no, I would die.
If you had to
I
do
don't
it.
try to hide it. I'm fucking. I would.
No
It's
way.
easy for me, but like, yeah, I would be terrified to do that. Well, I don't know. Like when Ela gave birth, I was holding her leg, Like, what was your point of view, Bobby?
I was holding her leg and looking.
So you saw the whole
I was
thing.
there-
Yeah, I did.
I was fucking there for everything, dog. I
Yeah.
saw that little alien pop out of there.
Yeah.
It's
You know what's really gnarly too is you imagine that it's this like cute little flesh colored thing inside of the tummy, but it's not. It's all white. It looks like fucking Voldemort. And then it comes out and then it breathes and then it looks like Barney. And it's all like blue.
all red and shit.
Yeah, purple and red and stuff.
I just remember, him coming out, and the top of his dome just looked like a meatball. It was like all white and bumpy.
It was crazy. I did one of those like when the baby actually came out, one of those like on the wall, I was like, crying profusely.
I remember
Yeah,
looking
we were
over
too.
you and you were like against the wall crying, and I was like, "Get over here! What are you doing?"
Yeah, Hila yelled at me too. Well,
When did they yell at you?
because they took him out, and then they immediately bring him over to some table
Yeah,
under a
the
light
table, yeah.
to like clean him off and inspect him
Oh,
and make sure
yeah.
he's breathing and stuff. And you're like, go be with him.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do.
It's like
Did you
four
cut the cord?
weirdo
Yeah, I
doctors are immediately all around him, and I was like, go be with him.
He
Go
doesn't.
be
Yeah,
there.
but anyway, he held onto my finger. It was dope.
Oh man,
Mm.
that's dope. That's a vibe. Yeah, birth was a gnarly experience.
And I got to pull him out too.
You
Yeah.
did?
He,
Say
like,
what?
Had me pull. Yeah, like after his head and his shoulders were out,
Oh,
I got to reach down and
Oh
grab
my
him.
god.
What? That must have been so weird.
Yeah, it was crazy. My doctor told me to do that, and when she said that, I was like, "What are you talking
No,
about?"
you do it.
Reach
Yeah.
for him, reach for him, and I'm like, "Okay," and I grabbed him. I like,
What was
am I
that
doing?
like?
Oh my
What did that?
god.
What did that? I mean, what did that feel? What was that like for you?
Well, grabbing him, obviously, like feeling him, it was just like a big slime ball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
sounds so gross,
No,
but no, it was crazy because it was my first time. Just touching him was
Mm.
just weird
Yeah.
because I'm just touching my belly for 9 months,
Right.
saying I'm touching him,
Yeah.
but then I actually touch him, and it's like that's
Where
the
is he?
craziest
Where
feeling.
is he?
He's sleeping.
Oh.
Go wake his ass up. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it was. The crazy thing was, first of all, Hila's water didn't break until she was giving birth, so there was like a crazy water break moment. And then, did you see what was it called?
Oh, the placenta.
The placenta come out?
I didn't see it.
Oh my god,
We
bro!
didn't see it. I wish we got to see
I
it.
saw it. It was
I
the
mean, was he
wildest
at-
shit.
It really
'Cause
looks
they-
like alien
Weird.
stuff.
They just take the umbilical cord and yank this organ out of her. It's crazy.
So weird.
And they
I
just
remember feeling it though. I remember.
Yeah,
after he was
I
on me,
remember
and then
feeling
we're
it
like,
too.
Okay, now you're giving birth to the placenta. And
Yeah.
How long did you guys wait to fucking do it again?
oh.
We did it like 2 weeks after.
Do it again.
Oh well, Hila had like
Oh,
a
I had
tear.
stitches.
She had she got
Mm,
her vag tore.
sorry.
So we had to do
So-
some stitching, and it took a couple
It
months.
took a little longer, I think,
Yeah.
than it should have. I don't know.
I actually don't
they
remember.
made it sound like I had just like one little tear, but then she was stitching me for like an hour.
dude.
So I don't really know.
Yeah, Theodore got you good on the way out.
Oh man.
Yeah. But so actually, I don't remember because Hila
Yeah.
healed kind of slow because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 weeks. Wow. There you go.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to, but we did it anyway. And then like we're at the,
What did they tell you? Like a month?
Yeah, they were like wait a month, and then we
You're
went.
supposed to wait 6 weeks.
Oh, 6 weeks, and then we were in the doctor's office, and I was sitting there, and the doctor's talking, and I was just like, "We had sex. Is it okay?" And she was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine. Like, "Oh, good." Anyway, all right, give me a kiss.
Are
I
you
love
guys planning another one? What's going on?
We said that we wanted to have another one really quick, but we kind of think we want to chill for a little bit and
Yeah,
enjoy it.
we're liking the only child vibe right now,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but I mean, we'll have another one.
Yeah, we're still
You'll feel
practicing
it.
a lot.
Yeah, you'll feel it.
Okay, that's my.
That's
cue.
good.
All
Yeah.
right, I love you. You're
Bye.
beautiful.
So,
Got that big old white girl booty. All right, what's up? You know what's weird, really quick?
are you taking contraceptive if you're not trying to have a kid?
No, she wants to get like an IUD or whatever,
Oh.
which kind of freaks me out because I'm like, what if there's like a problem with it?
It can
But I
last
guess-
for a while.
Yeah, it does last for a while. No, we're just,
Well, we don't use contraceptives, and it's in God's hands. You know what I mean?
every time.
Well, now since Theodore was born, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy because we kind of just go by that like first couple days after the period.
Well, but the thing is that I think because of her age, you know what I mean? She probably would get pregnant a lot fucking easier than Hila.
That's true. I think I'm much older, right? Like,
She's 21.
yeah,
How old are you? 31?
32.
32? Because the thing is, when you're like
32.
when you're that age, you just breathe on someone and they get pregnant.
True.
It's
That's how it
crazy.
happened. I was like, hey,
Yeah.
and then it happened. Yo, Hila.
Yeah.
So you're our favorite of the H3s.
Are you
And,
serious?
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Are you guys
No, I'm joking.
recliners?
I'm kidding. But seriously, we love you. And I should have talked about this while my wife was here. Bro, we rewatch the videos all the time for your reaction because I feel like Ethan is the best commentator, but the way you react to shit is hilarious.
That's
Or wait,
funny.
maybe it's the opposite. What I mean is like,
No, yeah. You know, you
dude, the Fine Bros, bro. Like, I'll never forget when we do this all the time. Hila was like, I mean, we already have an N-word. Do you know what I'm talking about?
wait, what was it about?
When they were like, you can't say Nazis, they're like, oh, you can't be throwing that word out there when we were doing the Seinfeld reaction.
Yeah,
And
and
then- yeah,
right,
and-
and I was like, yeah, because I'm not sure if what I'm saying is like funny or not, or if I shouldn't say it. So I'm always like, yeah. So I said it like I wasn't sure if I should say it because I was like, there's already an N word.
Yeah, right.
So.
I remember that line, but I don't remember the video. I forget the shit we've made at this
Is it
point.
the one where they make fun of Seinfeld?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing
There
I
are
show.
like
friends.
shows that wouldn't be okay today or
We
something.
made a
like
video
that.
about that?
Yeah, bro, are you kidding? It's like one of the best ones ever.
Well, I could see myself wanting to make a video about that because I'm very defensive about Seinfeld. I don't have any tolerance for people that say they don't like Seinfeld. I just don't accept that.
I don't get it either. It's like, yeah, how do you not like Curb? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, what are you talking about? These are
But
everyday
clearly,
instances. It's why the reason I love Seinfeld is because if you really notice, I mean, it's so genius.
everything.
There's
It's
no like
genius.
cell phone or this or like, it's not, things aren't like based on current shit. It's to me, it's like I watch it and it's something that could easily happen today. Do you know what I mean?
I just remembered. They were saying soup Nazi. They were reacting to the
Yeah,
soup
soup
Nazi.
Nazi.
Yeah,
and
they
they're
were
saying you can't
offended.
say Nazi.
Yeah.
No, the guy was like,
like,
you
what?
can't be throwing that word around these days, and you just destroyed him.
what?
You were like, what? What do you mean? You were like, there's they're New York City Jews can't say the word Nazi. It was crazy, and I'm like, dude, like, you're right.
I didn't
But
know
that's
that
why
that
it's
was
so funny.
I didn't know that that was a thing. It really came as a
I
surprise
didn't know it
to
was a
me.
thing.
I don't think it is, by the way. The soup Nazi. Yeah, watch Seinfeld. I mean, come on.
No,
So
but you guys are, yeah. We honestly, we love watching your videos. You know, we check every day
Wow.
before we go to bed to see if there's a new video on YouTube.
there's not.
I know. We need
I'll,
that.
I'll ruin the surprise.
I know it's demanding though. I get it. I
Well,
understand.
for me, it was just really hard to find content to make for the for the H3H3 Productions channel, and I didn't want to just force it. And like ultimately, when you just force it, there are some people on YouTube who do commentary that are really wholesome and nice, like Drew. There's these guys, Drew Goodman and Danny Gonzalez, that make really good wholesome commentary content that I like, and Gus as well. But for me, I just didn't want to fall into this pit of becoming this cynical fucking asshole that just shits on everybody.
But that's awesome. Like,
But it is
me,
to a
it's-
point. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's not for me. It's not like you're really that. I don't think you're that. I think you're the voice in everyone's head who like watches The Bachelor or something. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're the guy. Like,
So-
but it's funny. It's like it's a joke. It's a
But
joke.
so I guess I don't like clowning on people that don't deserve it or who I feel don't deserve it. Obviously, that's subjective. And I think a lot of Like a lot of my early career was making fun of these pranks and shit, and these obvious like scumbag low life fucks that just deserve to be said the worst things about. So that made it really easy to do my job in that sense.
So then, was it hard to do Skippy because he's just like so adorable and weird at the
Skippy's
same time?
yeah, no, exactly. But well, Skippy was okay because I feel like it wasn't a mean spirited video and it was really kind of funny subject matter. But it's more about like maybe YouTubers who everybody's shitting on, and I just don't want to make a video about them.
No, I don't think that. I think like reactionary videos. Like I've seen your subreddit when I'd gone on when I first discovered you, and there a few years ago, and there was a lot of after I met you guys. I don't think anybody even knows how we met. We should get into that, but a lot of your fans actually really have great ideas of stuff that you can commentate on that are even just as funny as like old 80s infomercials that are like really weird and like low-key white supremacist shit on TV. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just another problem was that it's so hard to know if it is good or not, and then I'll shoot the video and then be like, "Oh, this sucks," and it's just so demoralizing. I don't know. It's tough.
I think you're funny, and I also don't think you should ever force it. And you should do what you want, when you want, how you want, and it doesn't
think
matter what
just
I or anybody else thinks.
It kind of got to like just an overall negative thing where the process wasn't fun for us, and then also there was a lot of criticism, kind of like what you were feeling, I guess, and
Yeah.
how you described that you just were done with it. You just
Totally.
don't want to
Yeah.
make another album.
Yeah.
We just kind of got to that point with those videos.
Yeah,
But-
but you've also given people literally years and years and years of that, plus variety in your videos. You don't owe nobody shit. That's the funny thing, I think, is yes, we are servants as far as being entertainers. Like, we do owe something to the people, but like to an extent, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not happy doing it, then don't do it. That's how I feel about music. Like,
Right.
making music for mainstream consumption and shit like that does not appeal me. I've been going back and forth if I should drop this free mixtape where it's just me rapping on a bunch of like famous beats that I love, like we used to do back in the day. That excites me. That makes me so excited to be like, no one is in their right mind would even like review this, and if they do, like, cool, whatever, it doesn't matter, but it's not on Spotify. It's not here. It's not there. It's going to be some shit Dropbox link that I would like tweet out. Like, that's
I think that's
tight.
awesome. I like the
I
idea
love
of free
that.
music.
Yeah,
I
hell
love
yeah,
the
dude.
idea of just a Dropbox link.
Yeah, it's not even on YouTube or some shit. You
You
know,
guys remember how we met?
yeah,
Oh, I
at
didn't mean to
Justin's
interrupt
house,
you.
right?
Yeah, at Justin's house. That was really funny.
Because so Justin, he was telling me I didn't know about your music, and then Justin was telling me that you were in Rick and Morty, and he was telling me about your music, and that's how I discovered you. And then it was at his birthday party or something, and then I recognized you. I don't remember.
But there was also another. Well, we got it from two angles. That was one, and then Mac was the other one. Where
Oh yeah, we went. Oh,
We
God,
went
I
to one
forgot about
of-
that. We
we
went
went
to your
to
show
your
with Mac
show.
DeMarco.
What?
You didn't know about? Yeah, exactly. Because we're friends with Mac, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Yo, I'm going to this dude Logic's concert. We saw you at the Greek."
Oh yeah.
And then Matt
he got shit faced.
Where's?
No,
oh,
he
I was
told me that
shit-faced,
night because he
too.
was gonna come hang out at my house afterwards because we were in LA, and he was like, "Sorry, man, I puked all over my driveway."
Oh my God! I guess I left before that.
It was awesome. It was
Well,
so cool.
so we went. It was really fun because we went and we were just having a good time, and you were playing Mario Kart and shit, right? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, on stage. I
Yeah.
actually went. I went 36-0 on that whole tour. We did like 36 shows, and every night I invited either a fan or a stagehand, somebody who's working on the show backstage. I fucking won every game.
It's pretty good, man. You might be ready for the pro circuit,
Yeah, totally.
But I think when we came to the show, we never actually got to see you, and then I think that happened first, and then we saw you at Justin's house, right?
yeah. I was like, "Hey, I
we
saw
were
you with
like,
Mac."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Who are you?"
Oh, really? That's how it happened? Oh, yeah, you're
think
right.
so.
Yep. 100%. because I was actually single then, because I had just separated from my previous wife, and then I was there, and yeah, that was crazy. That was like one of the first times I had just kind of been out alone. So it was nice to be around people. Yeah. It was pretty cool. But you guys, for sure, were really sweet. And I just remember being like, who the fuck are these people? Like, they're so nice. And then I thought you guys like were just really cool.
Oh,
and then I go home.
That's nice.
Yeah, no, for real. I thought you were so cool. And then I go home and then I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I just all I would do is watch your videos. Like,
That's
awesome.
so funny.
Well, you make me want to make videos again because I want, it's like, it's so nice to know that people watch and enjoy it, because like, I feel I can relate very much to your struggles as a creative, because I feel like we get a lot of, there's so much expectations on the old me and the new me, and people want me to do it this way and that way, and this video's not funny and that video's funny. I saw this comment. We made this video on it was on the Something Virgin. What was it?
Oh,
That's Skippy.
That's Skippy, yeah.
Yeah. So someone commented like, oh, the good old golden years. Which I found so funny, because when we were making that video, people were already shitting on me for having changed and saying they missed our old videos.
Bro, when I released my first album, it was, this sucks. This is terrible. You sound like Kendrick and Drake and J. Cole and this and that. This is not as good as your mixtapes. And then I released my second album and people were like, this is fucking garbage. You did a whole album about space. This is nerd shit. Nobody gives a fuck about this. You have no place in hip hop. This is worse than your debut album. Then I did my third album and 1-800 was on it. Oh, you sold out. This is garbage. And then you fast forward now and people are like, yo, your first and second album, classic.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Classic. And I'm just like,
and you're like, I wanted to die the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. So it's funny because
weird.
like you're doing those things thinking you're not good enough and you're like trying to impress. It's like really funny. But when it comes to videos too, dude, like I'm sitting on so much music. Like I'm sitting on, I mean, I have 10,000 plus songs, right? But those are, I would say, Jordan or LeBron shooting in the gym. Like there weren't cameras there, there's a shit ton of misses. There's also some really good gold there. But even now, like the new music, like I haven't actually written a song in a long time. But I will. I have this whole mixtape basically that I'm sitting on, and I want to finish it for fun. And I just say this to say that it's kind of almost view it like that, where if you do want to make videos, don't second guess yourselves. You guys are really, really, really funny. And at the end of the day, it's like The Last of Us. Like I remember there was that whole, everyone was like pissed off about the game. Do you remember that?
No.
So there's this video game called Last of Us, and very long story short, I love it. I fucking love it. And I thought it was amazing. And people could be like, oh, well, because I'm in the game, I'm in the video game.
Oh.
But like, that's not why I like it. If it was garbage, I'd be like, yo, this sucks. Thanks for the check. You know what I mean? But like, so I'm not biased in that sense. It holds a place in my heart for sure. But I just say all this to say, like, there were people who were like shitting on that game before it even came out, and then still spent $60 to play the game anyway. And it's like, these people who say things about you, me, anything when it comes to art, they love you. They are obsessed with you. You know what I mean? And so for somebody to say these things, you shouldn't let it affect how you create. And it's funny because only once stepping away and really being like, fuck y'all, I'm out of here, did I personally realize that. So I say that to say that if you guys ever just woke up one day and was like, yo, let's find some really funny shit and react to it, and you did that, you also don't have to put it out. You could sit there and save it. You could fucking do 20 videos just because you love it, because it's a Sunday afternoon and you have 2 hours free or whatever, you know what I mean? And you just kind of have a good time and just enjoy it. And then if you ever want to release it, you kind of have that in the bag. So just do it for fun. I will say though, like, what you perceive as negative personally, if it is negative, if you sit there and go, oh, these videos we're making are like mean, okay, cool. If that's how you feel about it. I personally never saw it that way. I almost saw it like a real life Fontano needle drop about like funny shit. Like, you know, this chick's in love with an amusement park. What the fuck is that? Like, that is hilarious. That's really, really funny.
Yeah.
And I think, if you focused on that and less, like you said, any drama or YouTube shit, like, fuck that. Even though, not to get into it, I don't want to get into it, but that Keemstar shit was hilarious, dog. But let's leave it at that.
I'm
Let's
glad
just leave
you
it at that.
enjoyed
I thought it was
it.
funny. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, super
do what
funny.
you love. Just do what you love, man. Fuck all the life is so short. Like,
I
like
do,
it really is.
I do fantasize about, like, sometimes I swing back and forth. I fantasize about coming back and making a bunch of videos on H3, but then I just always hate it when I try
Why?
because it's exhausting.
In what sense?
I,
The actual work, or more so trying to please this fictional person in your head that is the viewer before they even see it?
I think I'm just always disappointed for the most part by
Why?
by the process and everything.
But why? Let's talk it out. No rush.
I think I put so much. The thing on YouTube is like, it's people really put a lot of content out, and that's like a way to succeed on YouTube. The thing is, we tend to put a lot of work into our videos, but it doesn't necessarily show. And so I'll just put a video out, and a lot of times I'm not happy with it, and I just see all the negativity, and then the video doesn't do as well as I hoped, and I'm just like, oh, fuck all
But
this.
none of that has to do with the art, and it's the same thing I was going through. Like, I there was a time where I was looking at like Travis Scott and like a J. Cole, like how many likes do they have on a post, and this and that and all this other shit. And it's like, why am I looking at these other people that I fuck with and respect, and I'm comparing myself to them, you know? And when you're thinking about like numbers, like, oh, okay, this song's out, oh, but it only has 20 million plays in a week, or oh man, like what 20 million plays, or this, none of that shit. It's all bullshit, dude. Like, you have been conditioned and trained into believing that that's what matters. And the funny thing is, there's a part in time in your careers and mine where it did matter. You needed to like put the asses in the seats, sell the tickets, do the numbers in order to be successful. But you guys are already successful. You went from the young, up and coming, funny little secret, just like I did, to this gigantic company, a walking fucking brand. And because of that, there's all this pressure that you still have to be as good as the fucking kid who plays Minecraft and gets like 50 million views in one thing. Like, nah, like, you're in a completely separate thing. And at the end of the day, you should only be doing it for the love. And that's why now, when if there's I do Twitch, or if I post something on Instagram or this or that, bro, you don't even want to know the level of separation, the 6 degrees of separation
Tell me.
that I've created,
I
bro.
do want to know.
Yeah, I want to know about it.
So
So if you want to post on Instagram, what happens?
if I want to post on Instagram, there is an email thread with 7 people on it. And I'm not even joking. Everyone has a job, and they double check spelling, the caption. Do you want it on the main Instagram? Do you want it on your story? Do you also want it on Twitter? Should we post this on Facebook? Whatever the case may be. I'm like, I don't give a fuck, right? I'm like, just post the shit. Like, I don't care. And then I'm like, I don't want to see comments. Don't talk to me about comments. Don't this, don't that. None of that shit. I just want to know that I'm at least giving my fans something, because I appreciate them and I love them. So I don't know, here's me eating spaghetti or something. It's just like, like, enjoy this. Now there's that. But fucking Twitch, sometimes I look in the chat, because it is positive. It's really not that
Yeah,
negative.
when you're on sub only, it's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's also on like the slow, where you can't like type. But even that, it's like. So what I have to do is, my buddy Justin, he's right next to me right now, and he'll go through my Twitter, and he'll go through the sub chat and screenshot and send those shots to my phone, where I don't have Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, anything. Nothing is there, and he'll personally send me those. And then I have to go through and select which ones that I want to see. So this also is like, I don't have to hear things like, oh, you're a fan, blah, 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 and all these like mean-spirited things that people can say, especially on Twitter. And the reason I love this is because it kind of encapsulates positivity in the sense of if I'm not seeing the negativity, it's not going to affect me. And all I can do is be happy when giving that content to the fans. So it's really crazy to think about that, though, because when I first started, it's like I was able to literally just be on my phone and talk to people and have a conversation.
Yeah.
And now when you have people like towards the end of why I got off social media is because I would talk to a fan and be like, hey, I love you so much. And then somebody would like drop the F word or this or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Just like say these really mean things. I mean, I used to tweet out every day. Not that it's not like I don't do this because of that. I just, now people know, but like peace, love, and positivity. That's literally my slogan. That's my thing. And I would have so many people comment back war, hate, and negativity.
What?
And they say that. Yeah.
Such douches.
Gnarly, dude. Gnarly. I just said it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised though. Has your perspective changed at all in the whole love, peace, positivity? Because it used to be like, I think like you were touching on, there was a kind of an aspect of forced positivity when you were in front of a camera or when you were talking about yourself, pretending like things were all good. Do you think that your perspective on that has changed at all?
No, I'm still a big advocate. I think I just wanted to be a driving force to do everything that I could to put that out there, even on my own dark days. You know what I mean? So it never felt fake or like it wasn't from the heart. It always was. And I think that's why when I was down, you know, in the gutter or going through what I was going through personally, I pushed it even more because I knew that if I needed to hear that, someone else out there needed to hear it. So I would really push that. Not that I don't anymore. I totally do. It's like my thing, but I kind of like, it's like biracial. Like we get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like everyone knows who I am. Like they know my thing. So it's not that deep. Like, but yeah, that was hard, dude. Like the hardest my life has ever been was when I was rich and famous. And this is from a kid who was broke on HOC, welfare, food stamps, parents on drugs. You know, I've been kidnapped, physically beaten. Just the gnarly. I said it again. The gnarliest shit has happened to me in my life. And it does not compare to what I went through as a famous, wealthy person, which is so stupid. But it's crazy, actually. I think it was more isolated. I was able to deal with it. I never questioned my race or who I was. Everybody knew who I was. You know what I mean? It's like you said with your tick, like, oh yeah, I have Tourette's. Everyone's like, cool. They're like, oh, what's up, white boy? And I'm like, oh no, this is my dad. And they're like, oh, you a brother? Okay, cool. That's it. Like it wasn't a thing, you know? Which is pretty crazy. I'm writing my autobiography right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's fucking insane, dude. Like the things
That'd
that
be
you don't.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah. What'd you say?
I said that would be an interesting read for sure.
Oh man, yeah. I'll send it to you early. But it's like I'm in it. I'm in the thick of it. I'm still in my childhood, and we've been working on it for like 6 months. So, and yeah, I know it's insane. And you want to talk about imposter syndrome? Like, I read this and I'm like, there's no way I was cooking crack as a teenager on a stove. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? I'm like, there's no way I was holding guns and pounds of marijuana at 11 years old in Tacoma Park in Southeast DC in the fucking hood running from the police. No way. And then I'm like, yeah, I mean, I've never, I don't, you know, my life is not fallacy. You know, it's just, I've always been honest and that's actually really weird thinking about that shit. Like, I can't believe it. I literally can't believe. And you look at me, you know, and I got my glasses and peace, love, and all this other shit.
Definitely. You don't strike me as a crack dealer, but I do think that.
Well, I never dealt the crack. That was my brothers
cooked the crack.
who dealt the crack. But I did cook.
You're
crack.
the chef.
I'm Raekwon, baby.
So I do think it's interesting though, because you strike me as a very wholesome kind of guy, and I think it's an interesting statement on just being the victim of circumstance and doing shit to survive. But like, you know, I think people tend to look at people like that as just bad people. But I think when you separate someone from the circumstance of their birth and this need to fight to survive, you can really see people, like, I see you as so much different than how I would have seen you as a person back then.
Yeah, it's funny. Drake just came out with this song. Forget what the fuck it's called. I think Lil Durk's on it. And
Laugh now, cry later.
yeah. And
Ian.
God damn, turn your mic down.
Ian.
I'm just fucking with you. But yeah, you sound like the voice of God. But yeah, Drake has some line on it about never being embraced. And I was like, damn, like if he feels still like he's not embraced by hip hop, and he's like,
That's true. Drake gets
Yeah,
a lot of
arguably.
shit. I mean, it's true. He does.
he does. And the funny thing is when I look at my life, you know, surrounded by drugs, parents addicted to drugs, you know, seeing gang violence and prostitution and, you know, police all the time, eviction letters, being homeless. It's like I am the poster child for the underdog that made it. You know what I mean? And yet I think based on how I carry myself, how I speak, the things I'm interested in, like manga and fucking sci-fi and all this other shit, that's a big part of why I wasn't accepted. But like, who is accepted? Like the motherfucker on the block shooting a Tech 9 talking about I'm gonna fucking kill the baby in this bitch stomach in a drive-by and blah blah. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
okay, like what is that? What is that? You know, like it's not about I think that negativity. And that's when I realized stepping away from hip hop that I had always been accepted by hip hop for sure. I mean, I have songs with Wu-Tang Clan and I'm texting Erykah Badu and I'm talking to the RZA and about this and that. And me and DJ Premier are fucking hanging out and joking out and clowning each other. And you know what I mean? Big Daddy Kane. I mean, I could go on and on with these legends that I've met that just show me so much respect. And I'm like, these are the people I love and appreciate, and they've always embraced me. I think it's this like concept of, you know, like I remember the Source magazine gave Eminem like 1 mic or something out of 5 mics. That was like the thing back then. And it was like, he was pissed off, and rightfully so. His albums were really amazing, especially back then in that time. But that acceptance in a culture, when you look at a lot of the people who are accepted, it's almost like how long do they even really last, right? That's what's funny in that circle. But I love hip hop, and I've always loved hip hop, and it's just was a weird thing to kind of hear Drake say that, and I'm like, no one is immune to it. You know, I've had some thug rapping gangsta motherfuckers call my phone and be like, bro, I don't live this life at all. Like, sure, there was a time when I was around it, but I ain't never shot nobody. But I feel like I need to perpetuate this lifestyle on the record so that I can sell records, and that if I don't, then I'm just going to be a nobody. But I also feel like the fact that I'm rapping these things are bringing that negative energy towards me and all this shit. And I'm like, man, I'm so glad I'm rapping about like Cowboy Bebop and shit right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a crazy place, man. A lot of it is fake, you know, and it's just like a fake extra background. And a lot of it is real. You know, J. Cole is like, that's like my brother, man. That dude is so honest and so real with what he talks about. And he's never really put on a front. I mean, besides like his mixtapes where he's kind of like, I mean, we all do it, where he's like, yeah, I got this bitch and she bad and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but that's the Big L. Like, I don't know if you guys ever listen to Big L or even Reasonable Doubt era Jay-Z. Like, there's something about braggadocio in hip hop that is just like systemic. Like, I do it. Everyone does it. Sure. It's like, yeah, bitches want to fuck me, but I'm reading anime instead. Like that. I'm just, it's something. It's really weird. Anyway,
but why is it that you think? What is it about this that people need to front like they're killing people and selling drugs and all this shit? You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing, right? If you take somebody like 2 Chainz or different people who've actually done this, at the end of the day, they're still rapping about their lives. So it is bittersweet because I don't fuck with like negativity or promoting fucking gang violence or any of that other shit. But it also is a way of life, you know? So if that's all you know is Compton and the street or whatever the case may be, and a family that embraced you regardless of literally what the color of their flag might be, more than your own fucking parents, you know, that either weren't there for you or you were a crack baby and nobody ever gave a fuck about you. And then you're 11 and you join a gang of people who really actually do become your family. Now, even though they might be involved in some illicit shit or whatever, it's like, this is low key what like white America doesn't understand. Like they don't understand that this is what you were born into and it's all you know, and you never even really have an opportunity. There are a lot of people in the hood who are super woke, educated, doing great things. Not everyone's a fucking criminal. That's like bullshit racist view. But when I do hear some of these rappers rap about that, particularly the young kids, they're really doing that. If you listen to Mobb Deep, you know, Prodigy, I'm only 19, but my mind is older. Like this dude was 19 years old in Queens selling drugs. Like, you know, Nas was doing the same thing. But Nas was also studying the dictionary and the thesaurus and doing what he could to tell the story of his hood in a beautifully articulate way. And then through that, he rose above it and kind of got out of that. Mind you, he still visits and takes care of his people and his brother and all that other shit. So I think like any young person that I hear kind of perpetuating the gang violence, there's a part of me that's like a little saddened, but at the same time, it's like, talk your shit, black man. Like that is what you know. Don't try to act like that's not the fucking life you were born into. Like you were born into that and now you're blessed enough to be here. I mean, why do you think rappers buy chains, dog? Because it shows that you made it, right? And even though it's kind of might seem like ignorant to an outside source or whatever, it's like that's all they ever had and that's all they ever knew. And the people that they looked up to wore those chains and did those things. And then I think it takes a very strong man to make it out of that while truly educating himself and understanding. So like me personally, I didn't buy a bunch of chains. I didn't buy a bunch of shit. I didn't buy a Rolex until I was 28 years old and going to the Grammys. And I was like, and I wanted one my whole life and had been able to afford it for 6 years up until that point. And for me, I think there's just a lot. It's very difficult when trying to discuss this, because putting down a rapper for rapping about his life is kind of bullshit, you know, especially when they're so young. But I think if you're 30 something years old talking about, I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker, I'm gonna put a bullet in you, it's kind of like, damn, man, you've been in the rap game for like 5 years. And then that's when I get those calls by certain people like that who are like, yo, I don't live this life anymore. And then so you find that they themselves are torn. I have a song on my last album. Oh, what were you going to say?
Nothing.
It's like
they're kind of stuck in a rut, like music, almost artistically, where they have this style and then they're kind of stuck in it.
100%.
Yeah.
I have this song called Cocaine on my last album that I did before this one. And it goes, the hook is cocaine, 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 Molly. Percocet, my rep move up like a dolly. If I talk about this shit more often, probably. So what I was doing is it was kind of like a social experiment. And I was doing these things called Freestyle Fridays, where every Friday on Instagram, I would release like a 60-second snippet. And so that's what I did. Cocaine, 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 Molly. Percocet, my rep move up, right? And then it goes into the verse. And the verse is, fuck, how does it go? Do you know how it goes, Justin? I forget. Oh, I ain't never fucking with no sneak diss. Best get off my dick, boy, you better not repeat this. Cocaine, what I flip, jump in the whip, cannot compete with. A real OG like me, you know I get that dough like deep dish. Got the party jumping in Atlanta like I'm Freak Nick. Got the party jumping in Atlanta like I'm Donald Glover. I don't want no good girl. I only want a freak bitch. I fuck her without a rubber. Like I'm saying all this like really fucked up shit, right? Now, the cool thing is it's rapped from two perspectives. It's rapped from the perspective of a cocaine drug dealer, and it's also rapped from the perspective of cocaine itself, as if cocaine is telling the story. I only fuck a bitch raw, like, you know what I mean? Because it's like raw, like your nose and all this other stuff. So I put that out, and for the most part, people were like, this is amazing. Like, this is crazy. Like, and then you had some people who were like, Logic, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, this isn't you. This isn't whatever, right? And then on the album, the second verse came out, and the second verse is the perspective of that rapper who's rapping as this drug dealing guy, basically saying, what the fuck are the lyrics? I forget the goddamn lyrics. No, it's like really important. I'm going to look it up for you because Sorry, I got so much shit in my head.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I don't blame you.
Logic lyrics. 1 second, because it's very. Okay, here we go. I got them. Damn, that's so weird. I can just Google
Just
myself.
looked up your own shit.
Yeah, I know. I don't. So I'm gonna read this to you. I ain't never fucking with no sneak diss. Best get off my dick, boy. You better not repeat this. Cocaine, what I flip, jump in the whip, cannot compete with a real OG like me. You know I get that dough like deep dish. Got the party jumping in Atlanta like I'm Freak Nick. Got the party jumping in Atlanta like I'm Donald Glover. I don't want no good girl. I'm thinking I need a freak bitch. I don't want no good girl because your boy he ain't no lover. Fucker with no rubber, then I bounce back. Smoking on some shit so good I can't even pronounce that. Shorty drop it low and make it bounce back. Smoking on some shit so good I can't even pronounce. Cocaine, 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 Molly. Second verse. I don't really want to glorify it, but the streets glorify it. So I got to glorify it before the people throw a riot. If I don't talk about it on my album, then they won't buy it. Man, fuck that. Listen up, quiet. They want to see a black man fall down. They want to see a black man lose. They want to see a black man fall down. They want to see, they want more blacks to sing the blues. And then I repeat this. Bank don't want to give me a loan for my house. That's why I sell bricks of cocaine by the gas station. Never had a foundation. White man stripped it from my people on the plantation. Hope somebody praying for all they salvations. Even though this is the dialogue inside of my brain, I'm filled with pain, but I just can't seem to refrain from cocaine, 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 Molly. Now, here's what's really funny about the internet is that I've seen a lot of people say that I ruined the song with the second verse, that when the album came out and they heard the second verse, oh, he ruined the whole song. So it's funny to think that what I was doing more as a social experiment, which is really what Confessions of a Dangerous, it's what that whole album is. Yeah. It was like an experiment to see what would happen if I just made the most ignorant shit and had fun with it. But anyway, it's funny that that first verse is bitches and pussy and drugs and all this shit. And then the second verse is what that person rapping, right? This fictional rap character that actually exists in the world is saying, I don't want to do this. I don't want to talk about this. You know, they want to fucking tear the black man down. They want to paint us as this and this and da 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 da. And that by me saying that, real stories, whether it's my brothers, other rappers I've come into contact with who have told me these things and how they felt and me witnessing it tear them apart, ruined the song.
Yeah, that's odd.
Exactly. I think the message of not, you know, one, judging a book by its color, but also of a strong man in general, but a strong black man wanting to stop that negativity and turn his own life around, ruin the song. I thought that was funny, personally.
Some people must have liked it, though. I hope.
Yeah, I mean, those are the same people in the arena that were screaming every lyric. You know what I mean?
Because that's more real, right? I feel like that's probably more relatable to who that person might be in real life. Because you can't.
I mean, I've had a conversation with that person who was like, "Good job. This is exactly how I felt."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What would you say as someone who came out of kind of that poverty and despair out of the hood and has totally kind of, I don't want to say escaped it. How would you describe it? I mean, you made it. You made it out, right? Like from the outside looking in now, kind of like, what can we do to like help that situation to make it better? Because it definitely is like a tale of two worlds here. It feels like, in a lot of cities or even in the country itself, where there's like white America, as you described it, just doesn't understand and can't really understand what is it like to grow up in a hood. And I think that's where a lot of prejudice and racism stems from, is because you can't understand what it's like to grow up there, and then you judge these people based on your upbringing, right?
Yeah, I think it's bullshit. I think it's systemic racism, and it's just how it is. It's like these are people who aren't necessarily as educated as they could possibly be because of their school districts and systems and the lack of funds. And I mean, shit, my school system utterly failed me. Like nobody told me I could be whatever I wanted to be or do whatever I wanted, because they tell you that as a child. They say, shoot for the dreams, shoot for your dreams, be whatever you want, do this, the stars, all this other shit. And then you do it and they say it's unrealistic. You know what I mean? And it's really sad when you see such incredibly smart young people, you know, that are not given the same opportunities that, like some rich white kid growing up in a good, you know, county or suburb or whatever is receiving. At the same time, it's not that kid's fault. You know what I mean? That has a good education and, you know, his parents or whatever. It's really about the country, not to get all crazy political and all this shit, but it's like, it's about how things have been set up and how certain people of color are just not given the upper hand at fucking all. And it's a really sad thing to see, but that's why it's also really beautiful when you see these amazing people make it out. And I don't mean rappers and I don't mean actors. I mean doctors and lawyers and, you know, people who are the real heroes who make a difference and make a change and make it in their community, dude. That shit is like so beautiful. And I think it's amazing, but I can't even really talk too much about this because it's like, I don't know how the fuck to fix it, bro. Talk to Killer Mike. Y'all should, have you guys ever interviewed Killer Mike?
No, but
we would
well
love
aware.
to.
Yeah.
I'll text him for you.
I'd love to. That'd be an awesome conversation.
Yo, he's the fucking man, dog. He's so cool.
I feel like a lot of people don't understand systemic racism. Like, for me, there's one easy way. It's not even maybe this doesn't prove racism as much as like classism. When you say local property tax funds schools. So when you're in a poor neighborhood where the median house value is $80,000, you're going to get so much less money than in a nice neighborhood where the median house is $1 million. I mean, there you go. Just alone, you're going to get 10 times more money. So that's fucked up. Like when you just think like poor neighborhoods these kids should be entitled to receive just as good of an education as rich people. Otherwise, you're just going to perpetuate the issue of class. Yeah, class is a big part of it, right? It isn't necessarily just race. It's not the black and the white card. It's class. But let's just come on, dog. Like look at sure, yeah. No, I mean, well, and another thing is like when you're coming off the back of 150 years of slavery, of not having nothing, and then another 100 years of state-sponsored racism in the form of like Jim Crow. It's like, dude, you don't just accumulate wealth and equality.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I have that speech at the end of my album from Orson Welles from 1946, which still
love it.
So relevant today. Yeah, man. Like, I agree, and I think, you know, it's good to talk about, but it's another thing to really like. I think it's cool that, you know, you've educated yourself. I saw that one video that you did about how you were quite ignorant to what was going on, and you were telling the story of how you had gotten pulled over and shit and all that. You were freaking out, and that's real. I think a lot of people, white people, are actually just very ignorant to what is going on, and they don't understand it. They literally don't get it because, you know, I think more and more now with people speaking out, it's great. And I've even, you know, I've seen it in a weird way. I remember when the Black Lives Matter really like exploded the movement, and it was a very beautiful thing. I then had people being like, why aren't you hashtagging Black Lives Matter? And like even having like little white kids like be like, oh, what are you not black enough? You're not doing this. And I felt it was like really crazy. And I called Killer Mike because I was like, bro, I'm actually making an album about all this that's going on in the world right now. This is for the album Everybody. And I was like, I'm really talking about this, but I don't want to feel like I have to hashtag some shit. I want to make an album so that it's going to live forever. And and I just say this to say that it's like, I have seen on the internet where it kind of is also like a fad where it's like the cool thing to do. I'm just being real. Like it's the cool thing to like hashtag this if you're like this white suburban kid who has no fucking idea what's going on, but then they're not actually doing anything about it. And I have that where I've said, I think on Hit My Line, people on Twitter bitching, evil politicians, people on Twitter bitching, hashtag it, but in real life, they never pitching. And it's like, that's one thing that's like, okay, it's cool. All right. You know, these like young kids that are aware because they watch a video, and that's amazing. But like, what the fuck are you really like doing though? And it's, I don't mean you gotta, you don't have to go out and march on Washington and shit, but like to actually in your own life, like change your perception of how you view people of color and you deal with that. I think it's really important, but I think it is happening too. Hopefully I don't sound like an idiot. I'm just kind of.
No, you don't.
No, you
Your
don't.
point is really valid. I think it's probably good at least that it's even fashionable, but I think you're
agree.
right that a lot of people, it's fun. Howard Stern, I know it's to reference another show, but he always has a really good anecdote about he grew up in New York, and amongst super liberal people, they were always all pro black rights and equality and stuff. But he said they were the first people, when a black family would move into the neighborhood, that they were the first people to bounce in the middle of the night because the black family brought the property value down. So I thought that was always an interesting insight, that he was like, yeah, you could say you're liberal and say all this bullshit, but when it comes down to it, they're the first people out of the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. Times are changing, and it's funny because yes, has there been progress? 100%, but it's like progress, dog. Like, how are we even in a world where like racism? I can't believe it. But there's a part of me that just believes change 100% can happen. Major change is happening, has happened, will continue to happen. But it's going to be a fight forever. Like where you have light, you have darkness. Where you have good, you have evil, and it's going to be a long fight, man. But I'm here to fight and help however I can, and I know you guys are too. And we wouldn't be talking about this right now, and that's very important. But
do you have any reoccurring dreams?
Yeah, actually, recently I had a dream. I had a dream about Call of Duty. Because I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty, and then I had this weird dream about Jake Paul.
Oh, really?
No way.
Yeah, and I had it like twice, and I forget what was happening. He was in jail, and something about like playing chess or something. It was really weird. The reason why that happened is because I'd never watched a Jake Paul YouTube video in my life. And I was like, oh man, maybe it'd be kind of funny, because I think it wasn't something happened, he just got raided or something, right?
By that,
I was watching your podcast and I was like, oh shit, Jake Paul got raided. That's crazy. All right. So then I like saw that, and I just kind of like looked into it, and then I was like, I've never seen this dude's videos ever. So let me go look at them. And they're just hilarious. It's like softcore porn.
Oh yeah. It's
but I mean,
crazy.
also I'm not like a hater, whatever. I don't know. Like it just was like kind of funny. And then I saw this music video he did. And he actually can rap. That's what's actually, it's funny. He can rap. But it's like hilarious, I'm not trying to shit on Jake Paul. I don't know this guy.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen
just saying, like,
It's Everyday Bro was his breakout debut. Some of the greatest rapping in the world. It's Everyday Bro.
Oh, that's what it is? No, I don't know. I just saw this recent one with like a bunch of fast cars and
Yeah. It was called
half-naked girls.
Straight Outta London, I believe.
Yeah, something. And then I don't know. Anyway, I just thought it was funny. But because I wanted to do my research for once on this guy, because I heard about him. So I was just watching all this, and it's just got like all these girls and everything's like clickbait. But the weird thing though is like that dude does put a lot of, at least I think so, effort into his videos, because you can see it's like watching a reality television show. Like it really feels like obviously scripted and all this. Like he puts a lot of effort into it. So I was like sitting there watching it, and then I was like, okay, I'm fucking done. And then I go to sleep, and I'm like, no.
You dreamt that you were there.
No, it was cool. It was like entertaining, but.
Yeah, those guys hustle. I mean, those
14,
guys work hard. There's no doubt. You could say what you
100%.
want about them, but they do work hard for sure. Are you bummed out that you can't tour your new album? Are you kind of really?
No, I took off. That's the funny thing about this is I took off this whole year. I wasn't gonna.
You were gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, with my son and my wife. So I wasn't gonna do it anyway. And then even when I do tour again, though, it's gonna be very different. I'm not gonna do this big. Eventually, down the road I will, but the next tour I do is going to be smaller venues, and by small I mean like I don't know, 3,000 to 5,000 people instead of fucking 22,000 people. And it's going to be me, a DJ, and a fucking microphone and like some cheap background. I want to just rap. I just want to just go out on stage and spit poems and interact. I'm literally going to let people know, like, if you want to come see me on tour, it's not like, hey, babe, you want to go to Logic concert and pop Molly and look at all the lights? Like, that's not happening. Like, you're going to come out there and appreciate the music. And that's just what I'm on, man. I've just changed my whole vibe. Like, I made my money. I had fun.
You're a dad now.
Yeah, I really am.
Yeah,
like,
shit
what
changed. I love Dad Bod, by the way. That song fucking
Yeah.
rips, dude.
Thanks. That was a fun one. That was one of the last songs. That and then Dark Place were the last
Dark
two.
Oh,
Place is
I
good,
love both
too.
of these.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Yeah, that was-
How true is Dark Place? Because some of the lines there are pretty
Dark.
dark,
Pretty
for
dark.
lack of a better word. Is it reflective of? Is it maybe an older version of yourself, or do you still find yourself in the proverbial dark place?
I think that was it was like Frieza's form before his final form, before like Gold Frieza. That was like me at the cusp of like creating this album, and then kind of in the beginning of the album where I was, and then by the end of the album, I wasn't there. And I think that's why I could write that song. And that was originally going to be on that free mixtape I was working on. It wasn't even on that beat. It was on like somebody else's beat. And then I ended up making, and my friends were like, dude, you have to put this on the album. And I was like, no, it's too vulnerable. It's too like for the masses.
Really
like
vulnerable.
it's too, I was like, I feel like I'm whining. I feel like I
I'm
sound like
glad
a
you
rich
put it
whiner.
on.
And me too. I'm glad I put it on. So it was literally the last record that we had made. And it wasn't like I was clearing, I literally was turning in the album, and then everyone was like, dude, it's just so good. You got to put it on. My boy Schwai, my engineer, everybody was like, do it. So I did that. And yeah, those lyrics are they were very true at a time, but not now. But once again, I'm not impervious to, human emotion and all the shit that I talk about in that song. Sure. I'm going to always feel that way about certain things in my life. But when it comes to rap and acceptance and all this race shit and all this, I really let it go as much as you can. As much, if I hear tomorrow that somebody's talking shit about me that I've never met or shook their hand, I might be like, wow, that sucks. But I'm also not going to let it like keep me up like it used to,
Did you know going into this album that it would be your last, like kind of your retirement, or was there a specific moment when you're like, fuck it, I'm done with this shit? Or was it kind of just a vibe that you were
I've
catching?
wanted to quit for like 5 years. There's been a part of me that wanted to quit. There's a difference between, I think, quitting and me then retiring. I wanted to quit from lack of feeling accepted or this or all the bullshit and the drama and the exhaustion and the touring and the money and the decimals and, doing shit because other people are in your pocket and da, 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 and all the shit. Like that made me just want to be like, fuck you. Like, fuck this. I've wanted to make this album for a while. So it's actually a loaded answer. It's really amazing though, because that you asked that question. So I've wanted to make this album for years. There's another album that I had been hinting and alluding to called Ultra 85, which is like, if you have Under Pressure, which is my debut, and then you have The Incredible True Story, the album about space, I was always in my head like, okay, I'm going to do No Pressure, and then I'm going to do Ultra 85, which is basically the mirror of those later, 10 years later or whatever. And while I was in the beginning of making this, probably like 4 months in, I realized that the only reason I wanted to do Ultra 85 is because, oh, look at the doggo.
Alfredo.
Alfredo is because I wanted, I guess, to please my fans because I had kind of teased this Ultra 85 album and it's going to be my last album and all this shit. And while I was making this album, I was like, this is it. This feels good to me. This feels like what Ultra 85 would have been. So I'm just going to name it No Pressure. And this is going to be it. Like I have no, there's nothing inside of me that wants to subject myself to the form of rap entertainment anymore.
You've got to be at least a little relieved that people like it.
Oh, bro,
It's
yeah,
gotta
100%.
feel fucking amazing.
It does. Yeah.
It's gotta feel fucking good.
It feels great because for so long, but here's why it's so cool. After going through what I did with my last album, where it was like overly hated and yet so well received as far as like mainstream and numbers and all that, right? If I hadn't gone through that feeling of like everyone hating me,
The reception was brutal, man. Yeah.
yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Then I
it was
wouldn't have
brutal.
been able to love myself because I was looking for love and acceptance in others to fulfill the void that was there. And when that album wasn't received how I hoped it would have been received, mind you, for me, I was just like, I'm just making fucking like troll turn up music, like low key, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But after it was received that way, yeah, I spent a year and a half, almost 2 years looking inside what really matters to me. And not about even the kind of music, because it just further proves that I could always make this music and that I have already made this music. I did 4 mixtapes, 2 albums, 3 albums, whatever, all this shit before getting to this point where like Logic wasn't cool anymore or whatever the fuck, because he's not making the music for the people anymore. And so I didn't make this album. It's not a spite album. I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to prove everyone wrong. I was like, oh, I feel like doing this now. I feel like actually just, I mean, there's only 5 hooks on the whole album. There's 15 tracks. It's just an open journal. It's just bars on bars on bars on bars. It isn't the structure like hook, verse, 8-bar bridge, this, which I've done and it's been successful. I was like, this is literally just poetry. And it's funny that I did it, and then everyone's like, he's back, like this is it, this is amazing. But it's like I didn't go anywhere. All those lyrics, all those raps, all those things were a part of me, but I was just doing other things. I was trying to do other things, so I wasn't in a box. But did it feel good? Yes. And the reason I say all this is I wasn't on the internet at all. I didn't know what the fuck anybody was saying about me. I didn't know how it was being received, right, at all. And then, you know, my manager, people are like, yo, it's kind of going. It's kind of going. And we did, you know, 200, almost 225 or whatever the fuck, 1,000 units in the first week, which is also amazing. But that's not why I did it, you know. But it just, it feels really good to know that I did something from my heart. And then it was also so, you know, well received by the people. But the funny thing is I've got songs over here, or I could have done another album that I just have sitting on here of like pop-esque Post Malone type shit. I'm just being real, right? Not, I mean, you know, he gets his own hate and his love too, but I could have done some shit like that, which would have gotten way more numbers and made me way more money. I'm barely making any money on this album.
Yeah,
because
not touring. I mean, that's pretty much
no,
all
not
the
even
money,
that.
right?
The actual album, bro, has like 30 plus samples.
Right.
On it. So you have
my
people, it's
God.
like, oh, you use this part for 3 seconds. Okay, that's 45%. On that same song, you use this for, you know, 4.8 seconds. That's 20%.
That's
and then I have
crazy.
to split between other, it's like a whole thing, but I didn't give a fuck. My team was like, yo, you know, you're not going to make any money. Like I had my lawyers like, can't we just change it or do it originally? And I'm like, you have no idea. This is about the art. I don't give a fuck about the
Yeah.
money.
They make it so hard to actually care about the art, though. It's the same on YouTube in a way,
Yeah.
where they make it tough, man. But I'm glad you did it that way.
Thanks. Yeah, but yes. So long story short, it feels incredible to like
Yeah.
kind of go out like this because it's what I could honestly, there was this, it's so funny though. This reception is the reception I always wanted in hip hop. Like, and it's funny that it's like when I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And I think though, and I didn't plan it this way. If I did, I would have sold it. I'm retired. This is the last album. Like, I'd have fucking gone off and tried to sell it. That's why I kind of wanted to underplay it. Like, yeah, I'm leaving, and here's my reasons. Take it or leave it. Fuck off. It doesn't. I know the truth. And in 5 years, when you're like, he's coming back, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna come back. Fuck. What was I saying? I just forgot. What was I gonna say before then? Oh,
It's just
It's
that it's
odd
so
that
funny.
you're getting the reaction you always wanted.
it feels like you know, for the last few years in hip hop, it's like, oh, memes and let's make fun of Logic, and it's like the thing to make fun of me because I was so popular and known. And then when I'm like, hey y'all, I'm leaving, then people are like, oh shit. Like, not only can we not make fun of this guy anymore, but in a way it's like, he's just been a source of entertainment. It's low hanging fruit. It's easy to make a biracial joke, which is fucking so outplayed, or a this or a that, or whatever the case may be. Damn, this dude's really going. And like, he's how I found hip hop, or I discovered him when I was 12 years old and now I'm fucking 22. Oh my God, this is crazy. It's almost like it's a posthumous album without the death in a way. It's weird because people can sense the severity that I am leaving and that I'm being true about it. And because of that, I think they went into the album, because most people, regardless of any form of media, are going, what can I shit on? What can I shit on? As soon as, like, rather than like just trying to enjoy something. And I think people really went into it like, okay, I want to enjoy this album from Logic. I haven't really necessarily maybe liked the last few things he did, and I haven't fucked with it personally or this or that. Mind you, this loud minority, this group or whatever. But I really want this to be good. And then they sit down and they listen, and then they're listening for the positive and the good in it. And it just so happens I killed the fucking album, so they enjoyed it. Yeah.
So this is it. You're saying right now, there's no, in 5 years, Logic come back with a new album. You sure you just don't need a break maybe for a little bit? Is there any chance of you returning?
Okay, so this is the thing. Like, no, I'm not coming back. I'm retired. I just want to be a dad, shoot guns, act in fucking movies, and maybe like work on soundtracks or something, or maybe go fucking make my own Gorillas. You know what I mean? Like, as far as like Logic.
Make your own Gorillas?
Yeah, like, you know the Gorillas? The group?
The band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Damon Albarn.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, he's dope. It's the guy from Blur. Do you know that band Blur?
I don't, but I understand
It's the
what
song
you're
that
trying
goes
to
like this.
say.
It goes,
Yeah.
woo! Dun, 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 woo! You don't know that fucking song? It's classic.
No, I don't.
Anyway, so that guy created the Gorillas.
Yeah, I got you.
And in a way, it's like, if I could just focus more on production and like just bring other singers or other rappers in, or, you know, fun stuff like that. Like, I love music and I'll always make music, and I want to find ways to be able to release music. But as far as Logic rapping about, yo, I made it in a struggle in my life and all this shit, and Logic is done, dog. Like,
you feel like
I'm
you've taken it all the way that you can, that whole persona.
Yeah, the only thing that could be fun to do, I think about this, I've talked to Madlib. Do you guys know who Madlib is? Madlib is like a legendary producer. He's like a living Jay Dilla, if you will. I'm sure you might have heard of Jay Dilla, legendary producer. And you know, we've actually talked about doing an album together, which could be fun. Like, when I think about that, that's different. But the only reason why I would even think about that is because when Madlib does an album with anybody, they become a group. So it wouldn't be me. It would be me a part of this thing with someone else that's like creating something super fun. The idea of that one-off kind of project where I would actually be rapping again sounds kind of fun. But when we're talking about like Logic dropping singles and albums and music videos, like, that shit is, I don't want to do it. I have no urge to do it. And yeah, people make the Jay-Z, well, Jay-Z came back and this and all this other shit. It's like, okay, as a human being, right? Justin Bieber, like, never say never, you know what I mean? But like, I just have I went out season 9, Seinfeld, dog. Like, why would I come back? Like, there's no reason for me to want to do that.
Michael Jordan came back. You just don't know how you'll feel in 5 years.
Yeah, but also,
I understand what you're saying is like the Logic story is over. That makes sense to me.
And that's what the Logic thing has always been. Like, when people listen to Logic, like, even in my turn up songs, there's still something like a message and I'm like over that shit. I'm like, I've spent my whole career being like, you can make it, believe in yourself, peace, love, and positivity. Yo, black is beautiful, all this shit. And it's all true, but I'm kind of tired. I'm like, I've literally spent 10 years doing this thing. I kind of just want to have fun and be a dad now. Like, it's not that deep.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, you certainly, like you said, season 9. You did it, dude. Although, how does Seinfeld end? They go to prison.
Yeah, they go to prison, and they have their last conversation between Jerry and George is the very first dialogue from the first episode ever in the coffee shop.
Man.
Was it cereal? They were talking about the amount of milk?
No, they're talking about his buttons.
Yeah, his
The
button.
button.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
But you kind of did that too with the reference to the first album. So we got a full cycle. think you did it good, man. I love that album.
Yeah.
Happy for
Thanks.
you.
I appreciate it, dude. It's letting all that shit go. Is just like I wake up now, and I just like my biggest thing now is like, damn, I'm not like working out as much. You know what I mean? Like it's shit like that. Like, but even that in itself, like getting all yoked, I've always felt like a very weak person, and not even like physically. Like inside, I felt like a weak person because my physique was also this scrawny, tiny little guy. And then I got 180 pounds of fucking muscle, and I realized none of this makes me any stronger.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then through that, I found strength. And you realize like it's just about being healthy, and it's like, cool, man. As long as I'm healthy, that's all that matters. And working out is like fucking annoying sometimes. But I think I think you just get in a zone. You either like want to work out or you don't. But I just like haven't been in a workout mood. I still work out like minimum twice a week. I try to hit 3 days a week. And even
That's
that
good
is
if
just
you
like
do
lifting
that.
and like
Yeah, that's
cardio.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, just
I
for
guess.
maintaining cardio
Yeah.
health.
But then also hiking and shit, because I'm hiking out here in Montana. So that's really fun. Me and my wife will go out and I'll ride the dirt bikes around.
Hell
and
yeah.
So I'm still getting exercise. It's just not like my therapist. She tells me once again, I'm too hard on myself. You know,
Yeah,
like
sounds like
You're also a
Oh.
new dad, and I think that kind of you're constantly tired. I feel like at least
exhausting.
I am. I
Yeah,
don't
it is
know.
exhausting. Yeah.
But these are the things that honestly I'm happy to focus on. Like now I'm like,
Yeah.
you know. And then it's so funny because it's like, well, who do I need to be jacked fucking Hugh Jackman for? Like, you know, my wife's like, your dick works and I think you're hot. That's all that matters. Like, you know what I mean? I'm joking. But no, it's like I just want to look good for her and she thinks I'm handsome and that's all that matters to me, you know. And that's how I feel about her. I think she's a beautiful woman. Like, you know, she doesn't need to be crazy shredded or anything or this or that. It's just like take care of yourself, you know, and do the best that you can. And I think that's important. So I've just been focusing on that.
I'm kind of jealous of the leaving. You know, there's a whole phenomenon of people leaving LA now. A lot of like comedians and artists and people just in general
And
bouncing.
Joe Rogan, obviously, is
Joe Rogan,
the big one.
I get it. You know, I feel like I'm forced to live here because of our career choice.
It's in your head. It's all in your head.
Well, with the fashion and with the podcast, like right now there's COVID, but I can't imagine getting people in the studio if I lived in like Montana. Like nobody's going to come to Montana.
Yeah, but also look at this, dude. Like
the
really
Zoom
look at
works
this.
good.
Like it proves that like, especially if somebody gives a shit to, even if you shipped out and paid, like, bro, you could totally do it. You could have somebody with like a DSLR type of camera or Sony, you know what I mean? Show up, you pay for a ticket for somebody. With all these guys are like, not me, don't send me out to fucking all over the place. But you do that and you literally have them set it up. It's like what Ryan Seacrest does, dude. I've sat down with Ryan Seacrest. He's in New York. I'm in LA. They cut it a certain way to make it
for
look
real.
Yeah, like you're in the same studio.
And they don't.
They use.
And the audience doesn't know that you guys aren't in the same.
I mean, they probably do, yeah,
But it's
because he
not
talks about
upfront.
it and he says that, but it doesn't come
Whoa.
off that way because
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I never even thought about that.
But no, but think
Trippy.
about that. If you have somebody there with a camera,
Yeah.
you know,
What's
a
the
really good
difference?
camera and an SM7 hooked up, you know, through an Apollo through a MacBook or something just to capture the audio,
Yeah.
you have great quality. But I think Corona has proved that you don't need. Look at this. You're
Yeah,
going to have
you know-
all my fans here watching this. You're going to have your fans. Everyone's going to be happy and excited.
Well,
Nobody
I'll
gives
tell you, going into the COVID, we were like, "Oh fuck, we got to go in our basement. We can't have guests." And I was very skeptical about having guests on Zoom, but I gotta say, I like it. I actually think it's kind of nice in a way. It feels more casual,
That's true.
where it's more intense being with them in the first. So it's a different. You definitely get different energy, but I certainly don't. I certainly like it a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be like that forever, but it's just we give ourselves these excuses. You know, you could say, "Oh, with the fashion line, I have to be here because of the office," and then you know the people that I work with and art direction and all this other shit. Or you could do what you're doing right now, and you're still working on clothing, and you're still getting the job done, and you're still doing it. Like this, just should almost prove that you can be as happy as you want to, and still do that. Like, yeah, me acting. I was talking to Joe because we're shooting the show and I have to go back to LA so what? I got to travel sometimes. Like it's kind of cooler that way. Then you appreciate it, and then and
You have like a
it's
ton
more
of
like a
land.
fun thing. What'd you say?
Do you have a ton of land at your house?
I'm on an acre. I didn't want to do.
That's not crazy.
I didn't want to do a big, because I'm in like a neighborhood. I didn't want to do middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
because
it's a little spooky.
Yeah, if I like broke my leg or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like you're a fucking hour and a half
for you.
helicopter flight. Yeah, no, fuck no, dude.
Yeah, I like living in neighborhoods. I like that sense of community.
Yeah, knowing that somebody's there. It's dope though. It's pretty cool, man. It's a nice town, and I'm just out shooting guns and riding my dirt bike all day. So
That's
so
what's
dope.
up, dude.
It's so fun, man. It's like a vibe.
Retirement sounds good, dude. I don't know when I'm gonna get it, but
You can get it whenever you want, bro. These are things that we put on ourselves, bro. Because like, here's the thing: you can't not create. Both of you guys, you're artists. Like you can't not. So that's the funny thing. When I was telling myself originally, like I want to retire, I was also scared that meant like no more income. I'm not gonna be able to this. Think about the people you guys employ and work with. Like it's scary to be like, oh well, if I'm done, they're done. What the fuck are they gonna do? First of all,
what are they gonna do?
But it's first things first. They're going to be fine.
No,
I know
they're
you
not.
guys are
My
like,
guys-
oh, can you please not sell them on this?
No.
But
My
what
guys
I mean
will
is,
never find another job.
if you fucking died or killed yourself, everybody would be fine.
Ian is unemployable.
But what I mean is that all these people can still work with you. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not the end of that. Cause that's what I thought. I was like, bro, I have employees. I got a guy right next to me right now that I like, he has a daughter, and I know that I pay him every cent that he makes to support his family. That's just one person. That's like deep. That like gives me anxiety to think about that. But I still have to selfishly go, well, I don't give a fuck. Like I have to be happy,
You hear that, dude?
healthy, and focus on me. But if I'm all those things, I'm still going to be creating, and honestly be creating as an even better version of myself to ensure that he gets a paycheck.
There you go.
So I
God
just
bless.
say, if you ever want to step away, you guys are fine. You'll be able to continue to employ them and do whatever the fuck that you want to do, man. Just like, if you're not happy, they're not happy, bro.
I
They all love you.
am happy. I don't want to give that impression.
That's not what I mean.
I'm happy stepping away from the H3 stuff. That was making me unhappy.
Yeah.
And the podcast, I really like working with these guys and having this whole kind of community. And,
I love it.
I just want to figure out how to make it better and make it more engaging, and just like, I want to keep it going for years, to the point where I'm super unhappy with the product still, and I know there's so much room
This
for
is all you
improvement.
have to do. Like literally, people tune in to watch.
I just want it to be
YouTube.
better. I just want it to be better.
But it's great. It's great. Like,
We're
don't
hard
fix
on
what isn't
ourselves,
broken.
Just like your therapist keeps telling you,
no,
we're
for sure,
totally
but-
like that. We're like so
No.
hard on ourselves.
Yeah,
Both
this
of
podcast
us.
sucks.
But this is what.
But I'm a
podcast
shitty
is.
interviewer, and like,
No, you're not. You're asking incredible, bro. We've talked about
think-
race relations, depression, anxiety, health, happiness, things that make. We've literally.
I think because we're friends, it's a lot easier to talk to you. I have a really hard time talking with like people kind of cold. And I just, sometimes the interviews are just fucking
Don't
trash.
fuck those people. Don't book those people, man.
Yeah,
And
I think
also-
that's the
also-
lesson.
Yeah.
Here's another thing. Don't get me wrong. It's like, sure, book a big person every once in a while, because people are going to want to see that or know about that. But dude, like, I can't tell you, there's a lot of people that you guys have interviewed together, and I'm like, who the fuck is this person? I don't even know who this is. That's the point. You want to, I watch and I listen to discover new people and new things. And it doesn't matter if they're fucking, Angelina Jolie famous, or, they made a YouTube video that has a couple million views and it's funny. Like that's
So
why
to
we
me,
watch, bro.
I'm in the conflict of like, when we have a lesser known guest, first of all, the views are way less, or not always, but sometimes. And so that always just feels bad from a ego point of view. And then also because we have sponsors, then they bitch when the views are less. But okay, whatever. That shit doesn't matter. And then
It does, though.
People just,
It does.
I mean, yeah.
It does that, because that's a part of what affects the quality, right? Because you have more fun interviewing the people that you guys want to interview, regardless of views. Because this is one thing I love about you. Because this is how I feel when I'm in the studio. It doesn't matter if I'm making some turn up trap song or some super deep song. It's always from my heart. When the song is done, mixed and mastered, then I go into business mode. Like, okay, now how can I market this and get the most out of it? So the fact that for the most part, you guys are doing interviews with people you genuinely care about is like why we listen. You know what I mean? It's just is what it is. Think about it. When you have a Brad Pitt on your show or some wild shit like that, those aren't your fans really tuning in. That's like Brad Pitt's fans and shit like that. And
So-
that's cool.
Yeah. But ultimately, that's how you grow the show too, which was
Yeah,
also
agreed.
another objective, right? So it's tough, but ultimately, I do think I'm a shitty interviewer and I hate
No,
myself.
you're not.
I'm just kidding.
You're not.
I'm
You're
half
great.
kidding.
You guys are both fantastic.
Thanks,
Stay
man.
each three, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Like for example, Zach used to be a super fan and now he fucking hates me.
Not true at all. I love you.
Zach's actually my golden boy, but that's true for Ian. Ian doesn't like me anymore. Yeah, Ian was never a fan. He faked it, dude. His brother's a super fan.
Unmute your mic, Dan. What'd you say?
Oh, I was just saying that we found out recently that Ian snaked his brother's fandom to get in with us.
Ian
not
wasn't
true.
really the fan. It was
I
his
know, I'm just
brother.
fucking around.
Ian wrote me a bunch of cold emails looking to become an intern, saying he was like a huge fan and shit. But that's not why. He was really persistent and he wrote really good emails. So I was like, fuck it, let's give this guy a shot.
That's cool.
We love Ian, but we recently found out his brother's the super fan and he didn't know anything about us. So he's a fucking
That's not
fake ass
true.
fan.
That's not true. I liked your guys' videos.
Yo, before I moved, I was out driving and I was with my wife and my security guard. And I saw this kid, these three little skaters, and they were wearing the hat. What's the one? The or the one with the little. It's like a design like this. It's like a little
Oh.
teddy. You know what I'm talking about? And it's like almost like a corduroy looking hat.
Oh yeah, the Teddy Fresh. It's like two bears.
The
but
crest?
Yeah. That's my favorite one. And
Oh,
you guys
really?
actually gave me one, and I fucking lost it.
Oh, we'll send you
Oh.
another one.
No,
we'll send you a
that's
bunch
not
of
why.
shit.
That's not why I brought it
Yeah.
up.
Well,
You're sweet.
no, we'll send you a bunch of shit. It'll be great.
Thank you. So I see my wife loves it too, so we'll share. She wears all my shit anyway. So I see these kids and I'm like, yo, do a kickflip. And they're like, Logic? And I was like, fuck yeah, let me come out. And then I got out of the car and I did a nollie flip on this kid's board and he was like, whoa. Yeah. Anyway, it's just a fun
dude.
story because I stopped because of the cool hat they had.
That's
I
funny.
wish I could do a kickflip. Then people would like me. All right. Well, it's been great, man. I love having you on here.
Yeah.
Thank
And I'm
you.
just so happy. I really love the album. I'm just so happy that that you were able to get that. Just I don't know everything you got. You know what I mean? I'm just so happy the way it turned out at the end for you.
Thanks. It was a bit of a hurrah moment. And it's funny because, of course, I always cared and I would have loved it. So when I say it's funny how it happens when you don't even care, like you always care, but it didn't matter to me anymore, you know? And then when it didn't matter, it happened. So it means a lot. I'm happy. How long have we been fucking talking right now?
It's been a minute, 2.5 hours or something,
Jeez, bro. That's
Whoa,
like
really?
a fucking
or
Christopher
maybe longer.
Nolan movie.
Dan, how
Oh my
long's it
God.
been?
Yeah, no, I think it's
2.5
ish. Yes.
That's good.
Wow.
No,
Well, I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you, everyone. Dan, Zach, Ian, Ethan, and Ela for always going hard and really supplying fans with incredible content. And yeah, man, seriously, like I fucking love you guys. And it really is a team, you know. And one thing I really respect about you both is that you let it be known that it is also a team and you don't just try to like take everything for yourself. And that's really, really special and humble of you. And I'm just,
Love it.
I don't know. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys. And I don't know, man. It's so weird because like me and my wife are such fans of you. And
That's so nice.
I
You guys are
can't
awesome.
believe it. Thank
Yeah.
you guys so much, and
Yeah.
you guys are so sweet.
Oh,
Really happy
shizzle.
for you guys.
we already have one N word. I fucking love that clip, dude. All right, dope. Any last minute questions you can think of?
No, I think we've said it all.
No.
We've said it all. We've done it all.
We'll have to do a
Logic.
play date.
Bobby
when
Hall, senior and junior.
We
Same
gotta,
time.
We gotta meet Bobby the third.
Yeah, we should come. We should come
To Montana.
to your 4-story house.
You actually should come through. Like it's really dope, and
Yeah,
we have
sounds
guest
fun.
rooms and all that stuff. It'll be really fun. But all right, remember to create from the heart. Have fun, and I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, man. Same
Thank
right back
you.
to you. God bless.
Peace out. Are we doing the actual piece where I like leave, or are we doing the like, oh, it's cut?
I think we
Okay,
could have
that was
just
a
cut-
shit interview.
So let's do a cut now. Ready? See you, dude. Cut.